Certainly, I will probably agree with that, because for now, you would say it's going to be tight, but ultimately, Shaun Murphy does have a mountain to climb ahead of him, because music's still on. It could not have been simple. Thank you very much, Kevin. Apologies for that. It's all done. Should be all done and dusted. Appreciate that. Nice to see you. Very much back in there as well. And yeah, we're going to have a little plan here available of a 3 reds into the right middle. So let's see if Shaun Murphy is going to try and take this one on there, because it seems like the chance is going to be there. Whether he's going to be able to take it remains to be seen. Now having a very careful look towards the plant of those reds into the right middle. Is he going to try and take it on? Let's see if he's going to be playing for the black as well. He seems to have taken that one well. He seems to have taken that one brilliantly well. He's going to be on the black. Shaun Murphy, take a bow. That was brilliant for him. And that's the type of coaching that sometimes Peter Ebdon can't give you, because that was absolutely magnificent. Look at that ball striking that he has. You know, leaving that cue ball in a free position for the black. Taken into the right corner. Still positioning himself so nicely for trying to take this opening frame away now from John Higgins, because look at the way, you know, he's got the reds to be opened up. He certainly has got a great opportunity ahead of him. So let's see if he's going to take it. For now, the black is certainly going to disappear into the right corner. Still very nicely played there by Shaun Murphy, looking to try and get himself nicely lined up for a couple of more shots to be taken. But as I say, ultimately, what is your prediction for this one? Because for me, it will certainly come down to a decent couple of opportunities for Murphy to try and get himself back in the hunt. But at the same time, I feel like the closer this is going to get for Higgins, the more comfortable John is going to get, because, you know, he's been there so many times that, you know, you could say sometimes trying to get over the finish line is a little bit dangerous and difficult for you. I wouldn't really say that's the way to describe someone like John Higgins as well. And pains me to say it, but I think Shaun Murphy may win this semi-final. Well, for now, he's still finding himself a couple of frames back. And you can see match score profile, 2 centuries that he's made. Average break of 35.6, which is not too bad. But of course, you know, it goes back to not having the ability to try and close out those opportunities. 1,305 points and 30 plus break of those that he had 19 of. So as I say, he's had plenty of tools to try and get himself into the lead here, but just hasn't managed to achieve that. And yeah, he'll certainly come down to a bit of a bad opportunity. Tough one to go, maybe Murphy, but hard Higgins. Yeah, the thing about that is you probably will be down to a decent opportunity to try and make it all the way there for Shaun Murphy, because for now, you know, he's certainly trying to get himself back into the equation. And let's see if he's going to be able to do that, because for now, he's got a nice little lineup of those reds to be taken into the left corner. Now, making sure he's still going to stay on the black for now. And at this stage, as I say, onwards, he'll be very much down to Shaun Murphy to try and make it right there for himself. Let's see if he's going to try and go for the black and stray away into those reds. So my heart says Higgins, betting slips. Well, it's one of those things, because the odds are certainly going to be in Higgins' favour. But it's very difficult to say that, you know, Higgins is going to be the underdog no matter what happens in those opening 2 frames. Because we've seen Murphy have that great ability to try and come back very strong in the opening couple of frames. But ultimately, you know, we always see that response from Higgins to arrive later as well. Murphy will be glad if he can grind a 3-1 result in the first session. Yeah, true, because once again, but the thing about Murphy is that, you know, he needs to get himself to a stage where he's actually going to be edging himself ahead. Like, you can't just settle for a draw. He's been playing for a draw in the 99% of this match, and, you know, right now, it didn't really get him to anything nice, and now still about to take the red away into the right corner, make sure he's trying to hold the cube off of the pink, and he's played that really well. So now let's see if he's going to have the opportunity with that as well to try and go for the red into the left corner of the table, because it seems to be the one which usually allows you to play those shots with, well, not going to say fully in the face, but pretty much just try and get that cue ball to be stunned for the red into the left corner. If John win their 4 frames is finished. No last session. This is the last session, by the way, Letitia. It is session number 4, so you're not going to have another session here. It all ends here. We've played 24 frames, and now it comes down to 9 frame showdown. So it will certainly come down to this here. And Murphy's just trying to get himself through to a chance of making sure he will be 12 frames to 13 and not 11 to 13. And just trying to work himself Very nice rhythm here. But once again, for Murphy, I'd probably say the only thing that has been stopping him from taking that lead so far has probably been the factor of just not having the ability to try and get over that finish line, because if he would have been able to score more than 45 points on some of those, no comeback. Oh, sorry, yeah, no comeback after the intermission, you mean. Sorry, apologies for that. Yeah, of course. But it doesn't seem like that's going to happen, because for now, Murphy's with a lead of 49 points and still getting himself through to a decent chance to try and go for those type of shots, as the internet connection says it's going to be on hold again, which is great. Let me just try and put that on the reserve mobile data as well. There we go, that's worked. And yeah, he's still got a chance to try and take the red away into the left corner, but ultimately it will be down to... No, you're right, absolutely. As I say, if Higgins does win those 4 frames, then he will be a very quick 4 session, but that's always the risk there with those semi-finals. You know, we've seen that with Watchalong against Watchalong, where we've seen a match to be finished before the end of, the start, I should say, of the 4th session as well. So Murphy and Higgins have managed to do a little better than that. And now Sean is about to get himself through to the finish line, looking at the pink that he spotted onto the brown spot, and now, having 75 points ahead of him. So messed up the scoring a little bit. So yeah, 75 points ahead, and just looking very much on those 4 reds positioned next to the pink spot. So if he's going to try and get those ones to spread out away from each other, then he should have a brilliant chance of trying to make those things right as well. But now just having a look at it, and he seemed like it doesn't really, play that shot with loads of confidence, making sure that he's going to have that beautiful shot of the blue. Let's see if he's played that well enough on towards the red. Well, I mean, I'm a little bit surprised that he's trying to go... If John goes all the way, is he on the snooker Mount Rushmore? I mean, he probably has to be there because, I mean, it depends on who you're going to put there, because he's going to be very much alongside someone like Ray Reardon, and that's not a bad name for you to put on the Mount Rushmore, because, if you've got the likes of Stephen Hendry, you've got the likes of Steve Davis, Ronnie O'Sullivan, so it'll certainly come down to a decent opportunity to try and make it, and then... you'll be very much down to a chance for him to try and make it all the way down. But for now, Murphy will have a thing or two to say about it, because for now he's played a really nice shot to try and get those reds to spread out. And let's see what's going to happen on the next break as well, because for now, Raiden won 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to me. He won 4 in a row, and then he won 1 more, I'm pretty sure. Or did he win 5 in a row and then win 1 more? I'm getting that one wrong. Let's have a very quick look. It should be frame over anyway. Let's have a look. Ray Reardon. Is he a 6-time world champion or a 5-time world champion? Let's have a look. He seemed like he's going to be 6. Okay, fair play. Apologies for that. And yeah, he dominated the sporting there. So 70, 73, 74, 70. Yeah, you know what it is? I counted 73, 74, 75, 76. But then, of course, I didn't, realize that he won back in 70 and 78 as well. So there you go. But Murphy is having a really good start here, making sure that he's going to put himself right back in the mix here and trying to make it down to a red to be taken now into the left middle, as he absolutely thrashes that one home. And now positioning himself nicely for the blue to be taken as well. If he takes this one with plenty of power behind it once again, tries to put that cue ball to be closer to those reds, and he could still try and put himself in a really nice position of taking the next frame as well, because turn up certainly, he's got 82 points ahead of himself, and that he puts on John Higgins, and ultimately just having a look at 43 points that he's got available ahead of him. And apart from the pink being out of position, he's got those 2 reds, which are not going to be in a perfect position for him. But still, nice little shot there on the cue ball, trying to get that one across the table, position himself for the red, now to be taken into the left corner. And it does seem like he will be all down to a century break here to be made by Sean Murphy. Can he try and keep this rhythm going? Because sometimes his biggest problem is himself there, really, because he's managing to, once again, utilize that break-off shot really, really well. Because whenever he breaks off, it seems like he's got a great chance to try and put Higgins in a little bit of trouble. So, as I say, it'll certainly come down to a decent opportunity now for the century break, as he now goes for a shot into the right corner. He's going to be able to roll this red in. Caught a little bit of the jaw, but because of the pace and because of how natural the angle was, He manages to get that red in into the left corner pocket, and now a break of 98 points, and looking to try and make it down to the yellow as well to make a fantastic total clearance. We've seen plenty of those from Weezer against Mark Cullen as well, of 142. We've seen 145 from Mark Cullen yesterday, so it does seem like when we get to the one-table format, despite there being plenty of pressure, there is now going to be plenty of good snooker to be played. Whole tonight will be faster than yesterday, to be honest. I'll fall asleep and not Letitia. I mean, you're literally trolling me because you were the one that left and I had to stay here and spend the 90, well, officially 100 minutes and 15 seconds of my life watching the worst frame ever. I mean, the fact that I genuinely rewatched the Yang Tower against Mark Selby at the Crucible, I mean, at least that was on YouTube, so I had the ability to try and, fast forward at whatever time I wanted to, as now Murphy goes for the double into the right middle. I'll tell you what, Murphy's got plenty of confidence in himself, and he's now certainly trying to put up a great show for the fans as well. Now looking to try and get himself through onto the blue, trying to get that one into the corner, and now lined up for a break of 119 points, so still going for a 1-3-2, which of course would make it the 4th century right now, but ultimately still trying to make it very much a fantastic break for him, and especially starting out on only 139 to be available. It's going to be basically an equivalent of 140 there that he makes, but can he try and take this one away with the black into the corner? Just about rolls that one in, and he will be down to the applause from the crowd. Murphy acknowledges that with a little shake of the head, and he will be. Higgins, that still has got the lead, but this time around, it will be down to John Higgins 13, Sean Murphy 12, and, well, Murphy put himself right back in the mix there. Can he just try and make sure he does exactly the same thing in the next frame? Watch out, Higgins. Murphy is on turbo power. Well, he is in the first frame, but has he got that consistency in him to try and make it all the way down? I mean, has he got that fire in him that will keep him going till the end and make sure that he will be very much down to the wire there, that he takes this one on and potentially tries to be the one which, can try and make it down to the final showdown, because we have seen some incredible deciders. Think about the 2020 of Anthony McGill against Karen Wilson. Think about, the same season basically of Mark Selby against Ronnie O'Sullivan. And of course, you can think about the incredible comeback of Si Xiaowei for Luca Brazil, and getting himself through to be the winner in that 23 season, especially after being 10-6 down to Ronnie and also being 14-7 down to Si Xiaowei. I mean, that doesn't get the acknowledgement that he should be getting, but now Murphy's going to try and write his own piece of history out there, as he seems to be very much zoned in, very focused, having to realise that he does find himself in a very important position now in relation to what's going to happen ahead of him. And for now, it is John Higgins to try and take the break-off shot. That semi was amazing. The curve, yeah, that probably was the only bad thing about it. Like, the fact that he won it on a fluke on that green, I'm pretty sure. I mean, he sort of won it before that, and then he had a chance to try and take it away on the yellow. Then he fluked that cue ball to be heading all the way into the corner, and basically, if I could spend an hour to try and describe that semi-final, I still probably wouldn't get towards those 6 colours. So it was brilliant. There was a little bit of a saver, bit of a bad taste in the aftermath of that of the thing, because of not having the great ability to try and finish off on a high there for either one of the players. But ultimately, as I say, it was very much coming down to an opportunity to have been taken by John Higgins, but by Karen Wilson. But at the end, as I say, it was probably down to a bad opportunity that he's taken. For now, Murphy seems like he's flying through the gears. He's gone for another raid into the corner. And is that going to be something that we have been missing from Sean? Is he going to try? And let me just, once again, very quickly leave you for a second, because I've got, once again, notification coming up that I need to restart my stream, because it'll come down on me very shortly. The score will keep on running, but just give me 30 seconds here. There we go, all done, and Murphy is flying through the gears, as I say, because he's got such a good chance to try and get himself through to a red, which I'll tell you what, he might have just missed out on, because he had such a nice line to try and take those reds away into the right corner, but instead he didn't manage to land them from the blue, and now we will certainly come down to a bit of a bad shot that he's played. And once again, this time it's only going to be 6 points there that he has, and he will be down to Higgins to try and come back to the table. Is it going to be a potential resurrection here for John? Because for how well Murphy has started this match in the 4th session, it could feel like, John needs a bit of a settler or a shot himself. For now, maybe he doesn't really mind trying to play a couple of safe shots there, because, he is finding himself to be in a position where it comes down to Murphy trying to be the one to steal the spotlight and steal the show. And for now, Higgins just finds himself like, he's getting outplayed here pretty much for the opening frame, and now having 138 points without a reply here in relation to the previous 2 frames. Now, is he going to be a good shot for Murphy? He needs to try and get that cue ball to be in behind the brown to try and cover up the reds on the right corner, and he's played that shot really well. So then once again, he'll come down to a shot of a backwards there for Higgins, and it seems like he's not going to be able to get through to those reds onto the left corner. So just having a look to see what's going to happen now with the left corner of the table. It's probably coming down to see what's going to be the situation with those reds, but ultimately, it does seem like he'll come down to a shot to be taken onto the left corner, and if he tries to play that cue ball from the left side, certainly going to be plenty of power behind that shot as well. So try and get that cue ball to be rolled up to those reds from the left corner and the left side cushion. It's a good shot there by Higgins, but it seemed like he was happy to leave a shot into the green pocket now, which, with Murphy's long range so far, I would say it's a bit of a mistake that from John. And of course, we'll see just how comfortable that is going to be for Sean to try and take that red away, because it certainly seems like, it's going to be something that he considers to be taking on. But at the same time, is he going to be able to make this one in? It's going to be another matter, of course. And now just having a look to see if he goes for this one away and into the left corner. It'll be a great shot there for him to take. Whether he's going to be able to take it or not, it remains to be seen, as I say. For now, just looking to try and take this red away into the green pocket. The red is going to be in, and now he's got a really nice chance to, as I say, make things right there for himself. 7 points right now of a lead for Sean Murphy, and he's about to get the position, which was very similar to the one that he managed to receive in the first frame as well. Probably a couple of more reds to be slightly more bunched up here, but at the same time, you've got a decent chance to try and take them one by one here, with the black about to be the first one to disappear into the left corner. Now Murphy just having once again a look at the scoreboard. He needs that 13 to be very much next to his name as well. He's got 14 points right now. He wouldn't mind having 14 frames at the end of the next one as well. Now plays that cue ball with not a lot of the angle that he had previously. Just making sure he's still going to be lined up on the black here. And remember, there was a stage in this match where Murphy managed to win 3 frames on a bounce. Despite being 8-6 down, he managed to come out being 9-8 ahead. Now needs to play a good shot here. Has he overrun for it though? He has a little bit. He's going to have to try and get the rest out here to try and play that red carefully into the right corner. Make sure he's going to get around the black on the left-hand side and position himself nicely for that red to be taken into the right corner. So once again, needs to play the shot with plenty of topspin on that as well. So then, very important phase of the match for Murphy. Tournament response success 88%, and he's going to keep on running for now. No mistake there. And look, once again, look at the position of those reds. You feel like this is going to be the puzzle which Murphy's going to be dreaming about, as long as he doesn't mess around with the position of the black, the reds, or anything like that. For now, it's all been very smooth for him. 30 points in the lead. Having a look at the red to be taken now into the left corner as he positions that cue ball really nicely on top side of that red. Trying to get himself lined up for the black to be taken into the left corner as well. Having a little study of the position to see what he's going to have to try and deal with here, because for now, doesn't seem like he's going to be struggling too much. About to take the red away into the left corner. Make sure, as I say, the most important thing for Murphy, he's been brilliant with getting chances. He's been brilliant when it comes to those long reds. His safety hasn't been bad. It has been brilliant, to be fair. Also, his positional play is something that hasn't really let him down. It's the pot success at those key moments when he gets himself 37, 36 points in front. It always seemed like he's unable to get himself over the finish line, and hopefully that won't be the case here, because we want to see this one to go very much to the showdown. But what did I say about 40 points? He's got 39 points of a lead, and well, he could not have played the worst positional shot there. The damage was done on the previous block though, and I mean, he was slightly alongside on the lower side of those reds. He couldn't do anything with them, and now he's going to be perfectly underneath the blue. So that's, once again, as I say, that 40, 45, 50 points of a lead that he gets himself into. And is he going to have to try and go for the green? He's gone for it. He's made that one perfectly into the pocket. Now just needs that cue ball to keep on running. Of course, he would have liked to stay there, you know, if he missed that green. But now it's a bit of a Murphy law there, pardon the pun, with Murphy being at the table. But that's a really nice shot that he's played, because that wasn't easy. The distance was there between the cue ball and the green, but so was a bit of the angle for him to try and take that green away. Once again, are we going to see John Higgins to come back to the table in this frame? Because for now, it doesn't seem very likely. I'm picking Murphy to win 17-15 or decider. I feel like he's playing as like brilliant win of shout. But once again, don't be overconfident with that. Just because he manages to get himself a frame and a half, by the way, I'm not saying anything more, a frame and a half on the board, doesn't mean anything. Higgins can always come back and flick himself to be in the fourth gear, as Murphy plays another great shot, gets himself 2 more raids to be available. But for now, I agree, he should be very much the favourite for the next couple of frames, because Higgins has done absolutely nothing in relation to the previous 2 frames, and he still finds himself to be in a position of Murphy having such great control. You know, 58 points of a lead that he's about to take now with the black, and that's going to be, what, 200 points, pretty much, 189 without answer, which is brilliant. You know, it's brilliant for Murphy. It's a little bit horrifying for Higgins, because, as I say, he hasn't really shown any sign of fatigue, which is brilliant for him because of his age. And once again, just how much he was struggling when he gets himself through to the final of the Masters, Nanjing in the International Championship, the Players' Championship against Yaozington. For now, of course, he's still looking to try and reach the final. But Murphy, dare I say it, he looks very clinical. Another red that he's nicely taken into the corner. Yes, he still needs one more red in a colour combination after this one. But at that stage, he'll be 13-11, very much turned into 13 each. Indeed, he had a great breakfast to come back to quality. I mean, yeah. It's, once again, it's very dangerous to be saying that, because even this frame is not over the line yet. But as I said, I can say what I want because I'm not really a fan of Murphy. But wow, this is not going to be a great shot that he's played. I mean, he's probably played that about as well as he could have, but he still needs a red to get in, and he doesn't seem like he's got anything here. So what do you do here if you're Sean Murphy? I'll tell you what, this is where Higgins is going to be absolutely ready. It's a rare shot. Well, it's a shot for 3 frames, I would say. It's a single shot that could get you from 13 each because of, you know, look at the points. 66 points to the lead, 75 at the table. This is to make it 67 all, but this is such a difficult red. How close it is to the side cushion. Doesn't seem like he's happy with it, whether he's down to, you know, the audience or something. So asking, well, that's, once again, I understand that from Murphy's point of view. He needs it to everything to be perfect, but he just asked the referee for someone to be quiet. I feel like this is a bit of a setup for disaster. Wow, that is perfect from Sean Murphy. I said it was a setup for disaster. Yes, he's not on the blue, but I tell you what, he played that like a really confident man, and he was taking no prisoners, which how close, look at how close that was towards the front jaw, without touching it, by the way. Played that with great composure and great power. That was very much down to Murphy. Murphy's looking determined today. Well, I mean, he certainly can say that about this frame as soon as the green is going to be in. And it is now 70 points of a lead. He could easily make it back-to-back centuries. And look at that. I mean, what a lead he's managing to get in this 4th session. And what a time for Sean Murphy to try and bring his A-game to the table. For now, he seemed like he's absolutely unstoppable. And he's now going to have John Higgins to be very much 200 points down in this session alone. And look at that. 350 points is the difference, despite it finally being 13 frames each. Well, Sean Murphy, take a bow. He certainly managed to make it down to a competitive battle as well. We're guaranteed to see 30 frames out of potential 33. And I'll tell you what, we may be marching on towards another Anthony McGill. versus Karen Wilson. Of course, that's a little bit disrespectful because at that point, McGill didn't achieve anything massively. Maybe a bit harsh, but neither has Karen. But still had a brilliant campaign in 2020, by the way. I'm just saying at that stage exactly. So it's going to be a little bit of a different level here, but at the same time, the showdown has been great. And now Murphy getting himself through to a chance of 78 points. Two-term start, Happy Murphy. Well, he's looking to be on his way. And if that train is there, the next station he's going to be very much trying to make back-to-back centuries. I'll tell you what, it wasn't like it was going to be, this one is not made yet, but it doesn't look like he'll be 101 and 100 points. He could well easily score 262 points in those two frames. That is going to be outrageous. 1 point, of course, on the red, 132 in the previous frame, and now make that 87 here. He's about to lose a point on the pink. But look at how well he's striking that cue ball, getting it around the table as if it was a yo-yo for him. Still positioning himself to be taking the red now into the right corner. And, Murphy was pissed by a spectator yesterday, thinks some Higgins supporters starting to play dirty. Well, it may have actually, I was about to say it was a little bit too late. Hopefully that's not the case. Because that's that's a theory. But once again, Higgins seemed like he was having a bit of his own moment against. I'm not sure if he was against Murphy. It might have been against Robertson that I remember, because he wasn't happy with someone. But, one thing about Sean Murphy is, once again, the crowd are going to erupt in applause, and Murphy acknowledges that with a shake of the head. Well, I tell you what, we've been here before in the previous frame. Brilliant Murphy. And what can he make out of the next frame here? Already looking forward to it massively, because, remember, it will be Sean Murphy's break-off shot, and you know what happens on those. Attempt conceded for Higgins. What's the score in the other match so far? I'm pretty sure it's going to be 11 frames each. Because remember, during that fantastic best ever, shortest ever frame, of Weezer against Mark Allen, of course they lost 2 frames in there, so they had to end the second session with just 14 of those frames to be played instead of 16. But I'll tell you what, forget about that match for a while. We are witnessing some brilliant snooker here, and this is why you pay the tickets. This is why you pay the subscription, to watch a snooker like this, to watch a man like this from England trying to roll back the years and make sure you will be very much back to Matthew Stevens. Where are you? Come out, because now Sean Murphy finds himself only 4 frames away from making it to the final for the first time since 2021. And I'll tell you what, if he does make it, he won't have Mark Selby to meet him there, because this has been absolutely brilliant. You can barely keep up with him, and it's now going to be 127 points on the break from Sean Murphy and 133 points in total. That is a real massacre here. 265 points that he scored. 266. He scored 133 in both of those frames. That is mesmerizing stuff. He scored 6 points with the first red in combination with the blue in the second frame. And thank you very much there, Kevin, for giving a membership out. Susha Sweet getting that one as well. Appreciate you, Kevin. Massive support, massive help, and the moderator as well. Brilliant stuff there from Kev. Appreciate every single one of you in the chat. And there you go. The notifications here again. Just want to say very quickly, Letitia will know better than anyone. There was a bit of a special ask for me yesterday, especially since Kevin's here. Can I ask you to do an absolutely identical thing, please? It's only 2 frames, but I'm already very excited to see what's going to be in the third frame. And you won't believe it. It was very much for the best mom in the world yesterday, and now it will be to the best dad in the world. So, I know it may sound a little bit weird, but Letitia, you know the stuff, and you could say happy birthday. I would be very, very appreciative of that. I know it's a little bit boring, and it's the same thing for the second time out there, but, the guy's an absolute legend. He's the best dad in the world, and he certainly deserves all the stuff in the world. Yeah, as I say, it's not a troll. Wouldn't troll with stuff like that. It's very serious, and I do have my parents to be born literally from 1 day apart from each other, so, if you could do that, that would be massively appreciated, and thank you very much. Yeah, Letitia, you're the best, honestly. Like, the fact that you are not even asking any questions, just getting down to the business, appreciate you absolutely massively. And by the way, we've got 1,000 people watching, which is not bad either. So thank you very much for every single one of you. Appreciate all the support massively. And you'll certainly appreciate. He's a fan of snooker as well. And he was certainly the guy that turned on the Murphy against Trump in 2014. Very much in the living room and trying to make it down to, You know, me probably not to be involved because he was just trying to relax and watch snooker, but that certainly wasn't the case on my mind. And that was the starting point. And by the way, it was Sean Murphy that was playing in there, and he was certainly the guy that, to be fair, I was against because I liked Trump from the first kind of shot that he's seen. It was in 2014. I still haven't found the exact match on what he was. I assume it was the German Masters, but I don't really have a confirmation on that. All I know is that Trump managed to win the first frame out there, and he was 12 years ago as well. For now, we're getting through to a chance here of attempts conceded from the break. 4 out of 14 breaks for Murphy, and you can see he'll be 10 out of 13 breaks for John Higgins as well. And, well, swish or sweet, thank you very much there, but it's very much him, and him trying to steal the show as well. Now then, back to the snooker, and I appreciate that massively, by the way. Weezy against Mark Cullen is going to be set at 11 frames each, so it could still come down to be very much down a showdown to see on who's going to be the winner. Well, for now, that was played badly there by Murphy. The red is going to stay out of the left corner pocket, so let's see on what Higgins is going to be able to do with this one, because it seemed like it will be difficult. You know, Murphy played that with clear intention to try and block off the access to that red. And that brilliant sequence of Sean Murphy was always going to end at some stage. And, yeah, I mean, Higgins right now is actually thinking about trying to send the cue ball to be heading towards the green pocket here, because for now, he seems to have found himself in the position of trying to take the red away into the left middle. And, yeah, ultimately, I mean, Higgins just needs to make sure he had that red over the corner pocket, because that would have been the ideal starter there for him. Because if he doesn't get himself to be lined up with, you know, a great starter to be lined up with, both of these semi-finals are shaping up to be some of the most memorable. Yeah, I mean, for this one, it certainly doesn't look too bad at all. You know, you've got the 13 frames for Higgins to try and get this one started away. You had 11 for Murphy, but at this stage, we already have very much 13 down to Sean. And now a chance for Higgins to try and take that red towards the yellow pocket here as well. What can he try and make out of this one then? Is he going to be down to a chance to try and take the red away? I mean, it seemed like he's actually considering to be heading for the reds in towards the left middle. Then he's thinking about trying to send that cue ball towards the green pocket, which for me is a bad idea, because there is going to have to be a red, which Murphy's going to be able to find. And, well, what's the decision then? I mean, surely he's not going to just try and put that cue ball to be on the left side cushion, because that's such a risky shot for you to play, and he needs a position to be absolutely spot on. I'll tell you what, to me, that's not really good enough. I mean, there's potential for Murphy to try and exploit three options really. He's got the main one of just trying to roll that red through the left side cushion, which I'm not sure Higgins has managed to play well with enough distance. You know, Murphy's the magician in those type of shots, and he's certainly the expert in them as well. Whether he's going to be able to try and roll that red into the corner or not, we have to wait and see. He's trying to swerve around it. Ooh, that's not a good sign, to be fair. It's very difficult for you to execute those shots well. Murphy was able to do that. Is he going to be on the collar, or is that too much to ask? It is a little bit too much to ask, but at the same time, Higgins played pretty much as well as he could have if he forced that brilliant swerve to be taken from Sean Murphy's point of view. But now, can he try and extend his break here, or is that going to be too much to ask there? He needs to try a recover, you know, from the position that he put himself down to after missing that red into the corner. Put that red over the corner pocket, and I am going to be very nervous when those things do appear, because you've got the flashbacks from Mark Cullen very much of yesterday, and I just hope it's not going to be a horror show. I mean, that was anything but comfortable, by the way, from Murphy, but look at that once again. So close to the double kiss, but the fact that he didn't get the double kiss, he now gets the cover on the most dangerous of those reds to be taken into a corner, and he finds himself to be in front for the first time in plenty of frames and matches, of course. You know, you're going to have only 1 point here in relation to John Higgins. That is the advantage, but ultimately at this stage, is that going to be a red to be heading over the corner pocket? That cue ball needs to be very much covered up by those reds. And I'll tell you what, Sean managed to swerve around those couple of reds beforehand. Is he going to be able to try and achieve this here as well? Because Higgins, as I said, he needs an early starter. And for now, I mean, that's... Once again, every single time there, the audio is off there because I don't want to get the commentators to be in my ear. just so I can actually hear and concentrate on what I'm saying. But every single time I've got the audio to be switched off, there seems to be someone shouting something in the crowd, the referee trying to calm them down. As soon as I try to flick the audio back on, all of a sudden it's peace and quiet again in Sheffield. But yeah, it doesn't seem like it's quite as easy as I thought it was. And Murphy, what's he trying to do here? And he's trying to do the thing which I suggested previously, as he managed to get that red in. He has. Now he needs a bounce of the cue ball. He needs a bounce of the cue ball. He's not really going to get that one. And unfortunately, he's going to be placed, well, with the yellow and the green to be covering each other. So it's still a really good shot there, because once again, he eliminates a potential danger of a red to be taken there from John Higgins. But he will be a yellow ball called. So just the snooker to be lined up as he played this one with much power. Once again, it's just like Mark Cullen against Boyeza, but this time around, of course, think about Barry Hawkins and spare a thought for him. I mean, how close was he to decide there against Mark Cullen, and just that wonderful fluke that he had. Horrible for Allen, of course, but I mean, what's he done on that pink, and how did he misjudge the pace? You have to feel for him there. And that was, of course, the shot that lost him the entire match. 13-11, 24 frames, a year of wait, and he comes down to a shot like that to be missed. What's going to be for Higgins? Seems to have played this well. If he hasn't left a touch and ball available, which it seems like he has. So Murphy will once again try and, discover all sorts of opportunities for him to try and make life as difficult as it can be for John Higgins. For now, still seems like it's going to be looking pretty nice for the Magician here, because even though it's 2 points lead, it still feel like mentally the advantage is going to be, although it's still going to be very much a minor thing out there, the advantage is going to be with him. And of course, he has got an extra shot on Higgins to try and play that cue ball away. He hasn't managed to find the perfect target of the ball cushion, but at the same time, seems like he's managed to cover up majority of those reds to be taken into the left corner as well. That will be in his mind for a while. But yeah, but to be fair, I'll probably be safe with him, because if that was me, I'm never forgetting that, and I need therapy after it. But the Barry just comes across as such a smart person that he'll realise, it does have that Mark Williams vibe about him there. I don't want to be mean. Last thing I want to be doing to Barry's mean, but he's lost so many crucial finals. That was a bit harsh, I know. But my point is, and he still plays some brilliant snooker there. I mean, he's lost the UK final to Trump. He's lost the Masters to Wilson in the previous season. He's lost the final, of course, of the Worlds to Ronnie. And then he comes away with a brilliant performance in Welsh, where he was saying that he needed other players to be convincing him to try and play. And then he comes across with brilliant performances against the likes of Robertson, against the likes of, Williams. And then he still puts himself past the likes of Weezer, by the way, the semi-finalist of 2026. I mean, what's Murphy trying to do here? Surely he's not trying to go for another long raid. I mean, there is going to have to be a bit of a sensibility out there. And, well, he was trying to avoid that, but has he left a chance? And a risk-free chance here for Higgins. He didn't need that contact point on the yellow to be made. And now, it's a decent opportunity now for John to try and step up to the table and potentially take the red away into the left corner. It feels like he's not going to be up for it, which I'm surprised with. To me, there was a gap to try and get past the black. And, of course, if that's going to be... I was just literally about to say, if that's going to be one of his latest shots that he plays, you may regret that. And I'm not saying it is the last shot that he's going to play for a while, but he has tested his luck there a little bit, pushing red towards the left corner. And now, can Sean Murphy try and go for that one away and put himself very much down to the test of going for the red to be taken into the left corner? For now, it seems like he's going to have to be... a little bit more careful. He doesn't have to be taking any more risks. We've seen that with Mark Cullen. The way that you play the game, sometimes is going to be dictated by the scoreline. Murphy gets himself back into 13 frames each, as much as he absolutely needs this frame. Probably a lot more than Higgins, I would say, because you would expect Murphy to win this one, as he now manages to cover up those reds on the left corner. But has he managed to? I mean, once again, Murphy has refused that red, which Higgins has sort of left over the corner pocket. And Higgins, I'm pretty sure, he's going to have a look at that red as well. So, I mean, the angle is going to be different. So if Higgins takes this red away, it could be a real, starting point for him to try and build that foundation on. Because the position is not bad at all. It's just a little bit limited for you to try and get those chances away. But Higgins, was patient beforehand, and he was able to take this red away. And now gets a little bit of a contact on the cue ball. And what's he going to have in relation to the position here? It's not going to be too bad at all. And Higgins manages to put himself 1 point clear here. And is he going to be very much back down to the basics there for John? Because even though this was very much the break-off shot from Sean Murphy, not sure this time around he's going to be able to get himself down to the best case result, because that blue and the pink are going to be a great asset for John to try and make this raid to go really far for him, because now you only have 123 points at the table and you're going to have an opportunity to try and put the blue away into the left middle as well. So play this shot. Oh, I mean, he's trying to take it into the reds. Is he going to be on one? I'll tell you what, the answer is not straightforward, but he might be perfectly lined up for the red to try and roll through for the black here, because even though that might be the only thing that he can do, I mean, it's better than not having any options, first and foremost. And ultimately, I mean, if he gets his shot in, he could easily try and turn his position from being, 1 in 5 back to 4 in 5 that he wins the frame from, because he's going to have the black to be available. Yes, he's just having a look to make sure he needs to get that position to be sorted out. And, well, is he going to have to go for that red into the left corner, or is he going to have to go for the one which is a little bit more difficult for the left middle? I mean, he does have to bridge over this one. So you feel like with that shot into the middle, he will very much, well, he's genuinely wanting to go for that red and a black combination, which will allow him to be very much in position to try and win this frame away from Sean Murphy. For now, it feels like it's going to be a shot very important, once again, not just for the frame, but the whole outcome of the match as well. So 6 points right now is the lead for John Higgins, but it seems like he's made the decision to go for another option, trying to go for the red into the left middle. The position is pretty much guaranteed, but what about the pot? Has he got it? Yes, he's got it. Now, how about the position? And he's got the position here as well. Brilliant there from Higgins. And once again, he just puts himself in the position to be in great control with what's going to happen with this frame as well. Because now you feel like he'll be very much coming down to a great opportunity for Sean Murphy to be staying at his seat until the end of the frame here. Because look at the way that he's got those reds to be positioned. Apart from maybe not having, as many colours to choose from, he's got absolutely nothing to be worried about. And, he does have a couple of reds to choose from, but surely he has to go for the one into the right corner. He doesn't have to do anything with that red, unless he's just trying to play for a shot into the right middle. But I feel like he's not really doing himself any favour. I mean, he has tried to roll that cube slightly closer to the ping, but not really a fan of the shot that he's played, because he was always going to have the angle to try and drop the cue ball closer to those reds, so that, I mean, it may just be overthinking there, but he still needs to come away with some good shots there to be played. He's blocked himself to the left corner, so now very much going to be keen on trying to take those reds away to the left part of the table. And now what's he done here in relation to the situation with the colours? Can he try and take the red away into the right corner and make sure he's going to have a chance of playing for the shot in towards the left side of the table? For now, he's probably done that pretty well. And just having one more look to see on what's actually going to be happening here. So going for the reds into the right corner, making sure that he's going to be playing for the pink in those reds. Once again, overrun slightly. Shouldn't be too much of an issue though, as he gets himself through to a shot to the pink to be taken here. And he should be able to recover with plenty of backspin to try and put in behind that shot. He's thinking about going for a blue here as well, which doesn't really add loads to his confidence, because that tells you how awkward the pink is going to be. He'll probably have to put his leg over the table, which is never a nice thing for you to be doing. Let's see if he can just about reach the cue ball and take this one without any issues. Still needs to cue this one well, but ultimately he needs to try and focus on the positional sense of the whites as well. Now, has he got that positional sense? He has, just about. But may have to try and play for the blue on this occasion, which still shouldn't be too much of an issue there for him, but it was always going to be down to trying to get the first chance here in this frame, and it seemed like it is going to be Higgins that got this opportunity, and now just looking to try and make his way towards the top side of those reds. In relation to the way that he's got them lined up at the corner, you probably would say he's got a really nice opportunity to try and really make some progress here in relation to the way that he's got those reds. Big frame for John, I think. Yeah, but it probably has turned to be a big frame for multiple reasons. I mean, you can't lose this frame for all the reasons as well. But, I mean, the position that he gets himself into, especially after that minor misjudgment from Murphy, Yes, it was a really good long shot from John Higgins, but you still feel like it's very much going to be down to him to try and perform his best here. And I'll tell you what, if he was playing for the blue, I don't really understand what he's done here. I don't really understand what he's done at all. I mean, what's he played for here? I mean, he's trying to take that cue ball around the globe, and he's left himself with nowhere in the green, nowhere in the yellow, so it's down to the blue or brown to be taken on, unless he tries to cut that green into the middle, which is going to be a suicide mission to me. 26 points of a lead is not a bad lead for you to take, but is he going to have to, well, it seems like he's going to have to play a snooker here. And I'll tell you what, if he doesn't win the frame from here, he's going to be absolutely gutted with himself, and he may have not even got the snooker. I feel like the cue ball is just going to be behind the brown, but that is a shocker of a positional misjudgment there from Higgins. I mean, I literally said with the previous shot, nothing can go wrong for him, and he has basically messed it up with a single shot there. I mean, there was a little bit of a problem on the pink, but you still feel like he was lined up on the red nicely. Yes, he was always going to be sending the cue ball to the top end of the table, but still felt like he was going to be very much down to a decent chance to be taking on from there, but now it's a different story, and it's very much down to Shaun Murphy to try and write his own story here. Whether he will be down to a decent chance to take, those reds away from each other from the right side or not. But, I mean, that was a very un-John Higgins-like mistake. But it still seems like he's going to put Murphy in trouble here, because Murphy's clearly, not getting any easy short selection there for himself. So he's going to go for a two-cushion escape. He got the pink, and, he's left the red to be available. But the pink, of course, has gone away to the top side of the table. Higgins should take this position from here, but it was a decent chance for Murphy to try and make it right. He wasn't quite able to. Bad mistake. I'm not sure whether you mean Shaun or Higgins, but both of them have made a bad mistake there, and he will come down to a chance for John Higgins to try and very much finish off this one, because now 32 points of a lead. He takes that red away. He's still going to have the top side of a blue for the position to be taking on, and now gets himself through to a chance to try and get that cue ball. Shaun, yeah, but once again, as I say, he will be very much down to Higgins that makes his own mistake. Shaun, yeah, apologies. Got that one wrong. I mean, did he have anything else to play? He doesn't come across as a player that will play a hidden hope shot, something that we've seen in that frame number 12 of Weezy against Mark Cullen. So you just feel like this one will probably come down to a bit of a different situation here for Higgins to try and play, as he takes that blue carefully away and needs to make sure he's going to have plenty of the angle on the cue ball to try and get it back towards the blue here, because now makes it even more of the advantage for himself. 83 points at the table, but of course he should get it down to at least 59, and then at that stage, of course, he should very much have the advantage that will allow him to try and take it over the finish line. Any miss due to snooker shouldn't be considered a bad mistake. Yeah, but it depends on how costly that mistake is going to be. Because he felt like Higgins made a mistake himself, and Murphy was going to have a chance to try and punish him for that mistake. Now, he's not going to be perfectly on the blue here. Well, he may just about be able to take the blue here, because he doesn't have any sort of need to try and go into the reds. All he has to do is just try and hold that cue ball back onto the right side. And, he's trying to play this shot with topspin, which to me is a little bit weird, because is he trying to take it into those three reds? Is he going to be able to avoid a cannon? He has managed to do that. And now he needs the angle to try and take it back towards the blue here. Well, he does seem like he'll be very close for John Higgins, but at the same in relation to getting over the finish line here, 44 points of a lead. Still a couple more of those reds that will have to be potted there from John. But looking to try and make it very much down to the showdown finale there of this frame number 27. And still trying to get himself very much in the lead. Now he's played this one with plenty of backspin, and he seems to have played this one really, really well. So now it comes down to a red that he can play for into the left corner. Just having a look at the score sheet, 45 points of the lead, 67 at the table, and just looking to try and make things right there for himself. Because if he goes for a shot into the left corner, ain't over yet, 5 cushion reds, yeah, but it should be over. It's 5 cushion reds or not, 2 of them are easily playable. If you get the good position to be sorted out, it seems like he's playing topspin, so he's going to try and go for the reds next to the black there, which probably always try to go into them. It's a mistake to me. And has he managed to be on the red? Well, he's going to have to bridge over it. He's brought the black into play. I mean, that's an interesting shot there that John Higgins has played, because I feel like he had just about enough of the angle to try and take that on towards the red into the corner. And as much as I understand, he leaving one of those reds away off the 4 on the black cushion would have been a potential chance there. But interesting question. Do you think pressure will happen in this game as they've both been in situations before? You probably have to come down to what we've seen of pressure there from Murphy beforehand. It doesn't seem like... I mean, Higgins, no. I'd have to say straight away no, because it's just like the guy doesn't know about pressure. You know, he's had so many deciders against Godon, against Allen, against Williams. Yes, okay, he lost one, fair play. And then he's had one against Ronnie, against Robertson. He's had a very tough match as well. And, well, once again, talking about pressure, I mean, that will answer your question nicely. Can he take this red away now into the corner? Or is he going to have to force himself to be playing a safety shot? 50 points as a lead, 67 at the table. He hasn't got over the finish line just yet. He should do, but whether he'll be able to do that, if he plays it safe. One chance for Murphy sometimes when he gets his positional play to be sorted out, especially if Higgins cannons one of those reds to be available. Well, I'll tell you what, he needs to make sure he's covered that one up with the blue. Otherwise, he'll be fuming with himself, and he hasn't done so. Well, this is a test. Higgins has sort of gone past on his one. Is Murphy feeling brave? He was trying to play it safe at the starting point of the frame. There's no point playing it safe now. You have to go for it. There's plenty of pressure. You'll probably miss this one as well because of how much at stake there is. But if he makes it, if he didn't, so where's the red going to finish now? Or is he? Surely he hasn't fluked it. Surely he hasn't fluked it. He nearly fluked it, but in the end, he's left it on the plate for John Higgins as well. And now it will very much come down to Higgins to try and finish this one off. 59 points at the table after this red is going to disappear. Hard luck, Murphy. Yeah, that was GG's frame. That should be over and done with. But at the same time, you have got Higgins to try and go for the red into the left corner. And at the same time, if you put yourself in a position to try and make it down to the showdown, you have to be prepared for the outcome like this. Because, well, for now, Higgins is going to have to try and finish off the job here. He needs to play on the top side of a blue or black. Well, he hasn't really got that. Once again, it's a bad shot from Higgins. I mean, he should have been frame over so much time ago. And now, what can he do to try and get on that red, which is going to be the frame ball? I mean, he's getting closer, but the fact that he's not over the finish line yet is absolutely baffling, to be fair. And the longer this takes, the more Murphy's going to feel like, well, maybe it's written in the stars for him to try and do something about this frame, even though it may still not look like it now. But if it comes down to, you know, one more red to be taken, and that's frame over, but Higgins for now will have to try and take the cube on a journey around the globe. Well, he had decided not to be doing anything here, just trying to put the blue safe. Once again, a passive shot there from John. Well, you felt like that was the wrong shot to play from 8. 5 points is going to be a lot more important than trying to put the blue safe in this position to me. So let's see if it's going to be very much a problem for him later on in the break, because for now, it seemed like it'll very much come down to Sean Murphy to try and go for a chance of himself to have been presented with. Whether it'll come down to a chance to try and take that cue ball away, I have to wait and see on that one. So let me just once again sort it out. Look at the phone to be asking to confirm the connection, which is brilliant. Look, once again, confirm. Yes, I am watching snooker. No one else is watching snooker here. After that previous frame of longer than an hour for Mark Allen against Weezer. But I'll tell you what, this one seemed like it's going to be heading through a little bit of time as well. And now he will be down to Sean Murphy to try and take it on the right-hand side here. But what can he do to try and keep those threads to be safe? Because for now, it seemed like if it's a try by Murphy, it's a bad shot, not even near pocket. And to come out of badness, the red hits centre knuckle and pocket for Higgins. Yeah, but it's still, that wasn't enough for John to try and get over the finish line, which is my point. You know, that wasn't good enough for him, simply put. And now it's down to Sean to try and once again make things right there for himself. What can he try and do here? And what he can do is put a red to be available for John Higgins to be taken on, but he's can't manage to get that cue ball to be rolling in behind the brown. Has he got the cover on the most dangerous of those reds? He managed to bring the cue ball to be very close to the top cushion, but he hasn't got the cover here. So what do you do here if you're John? Do you go for this red? Well, this is where, for me, he should have taken that blue on. Unpopular opinion, he should have taken that blue on. That would put him under a lot more. Well, I mean, I would say to put... I mean, was that the case? Would that have put him into a more comfortable position? Because technically, if he does miss this one, he's going to have to play with plenty of power. But if he does miss this one, and Murphy's able to take it, let's have to wait and see. Now, Higgins, for 14-13 of a lead, barring snookers. Can he make it? No, he can't. Where's the cue ball going to finish? He's going to finish in the reds. Well, this is going to be very, very interesting for a finale of this frame. Higgins is not done just yet. He has pushed one of those reds to be heading over the yellow pocket. And the yellow pocket is covered up behind the yellow. So, does that mean Murphy has to sacrifice 5 points, take the yellow away from the pocket before taking the red away? It may be 1000 IQ move by John Higgins, because look at how close that red is going to be towards the yellow pocket. I mean, he can't squeeze past it. You can't take it into the green pocket. So unless you're playing behind a bit, and even then, I feel like the right middle is going to be covered up, but that's going to be later on. Of course, Murphy just wants an easy introduction and try and take it with a black. Oh, he's played that shot well. He's played that shot brilliantly. He's managed to sort out the blue now to be available to him. I'll tell you what, this is now turning out to be an absolute classic of a frame. And this is where those matches are either won or lost. Murphy is still by far the underdog, but has he put himself to be right back in the contention? Because I'll tell you what, he won't be too far from me. I mean, talk about the issues here. You've got the black to be taken now into the corner. Where's the black ball spot, by the way? It's going to be right next to the red, so that would make sure that red doesn't go into the left corner, which is a bit of a problem that for Murphy, because that would have been very much his shot to go for. Does he have to? Well, is he taking the yellow now? Well, that's risky. That's risky. He's going to put all of his eggs in one basket. Well, that's a mistake. That's a horror of a mistake, and he put himself right back in the mix, and he's managed to blow that one away. That's very disappointing. That's very, very disappointing, that from Murphy. I don't know what he's doing here. Why would you go for that yellow anyway? Because you've got the pink, and I genuinely thought he was going to be a smart man and try and play to the strength of the pink and the brown here. But he just put himself a snooker behind here. I mean, Fato, why didn't he put the black and the yellow with the net? Exactly. Why did he not try to do that? I mean, he's got the black to be available, and surely he's the best rest spotter of all, well, not of all time, but of the season. And look at that. It's exactly what I mean. He was going to do that and put the cue ball to being behind the pink and the brown. Why is Higgins doing that? And why Murphy wasn't able to do it? I mean, I literally just said this frame is the one to determine on who is going to be the winner and who's going to be the runner-up. And I tell you what, I feel like we all know the answer to this one now. Murphy's surely going to have to hit a hidden hope here, and he's probably going to concede the frame. I mean, well, that's try and recover from this one here, man. That's going to be absolutely huge disaster there for Sean Murphy. And I tell you what, Higgins will be absolutely rubbing his hands here because he managed to get away with that one. Not thinking straight, mad, absolutely mad. Anyway, I mean, after all that, mad, and let's see if Higgins can just try and put himself together, take the red away. He can't. So the showdown will continue for now. Yeah, Higgins is going to be disappointed in himself because the pink and the green are still going to be very, very much relevant to each other, because you can try and do that on multiple occasions to try and roll up in behind them. So Murphy's going to try and carry on for now. And I'll tell you what, he made it very, very difficult for him. He's managed to, the thing is, he's managed to sort out so many of his issues that he had with bringing the blue into play, having all those reds to be available. But, oh, I'll tell you what, he's played a cracking shot again. I mean, Murphy's just so inconsistent, but he's so brilliant when he plays a shot like that. Because, I mean, what does Higgins do here, by the way? Because he can't get through to those reds, whatever you look at it. And he's just going to go for a foul shot. You know, just be happy with it. Make sure that he doesn't leave a red away. Let's see what's going to happen. He needs to have a genuine attempt to try and hit those reds. But it's a brilliant shot there by Murphy. You do wonder why he had to come here and not on a couple of shots before that. But, you know, listen, it's technically still in this one. Although, technically doesn't mean that it's going to be the same in reality. And, well, that's a horrible miss there by Higgins. I mean, he was a mile away from that one. Of course, the miss is not going to be called. So, Sean Murphy's going to come back to the table. Okay, so this does bring the change here slightly because he makes it down to 54 points of a difference. Can Murphy go for the red now into the left corner? I mean, he's probably going to have to throw all the caution out of the wind anyway, but for whatever reason, I feel like he'll pot this one. And he's missed it, so he certainly can tell I wasn't lying to you because I genuinely thought he was going to pot it, but he's missed it. But has he managed to put that red safe? He has. Yeah, just had that weird feeling that he was still going to have a bit of a comeback out there, but doesn't seem like it's going to be happening now. Of course, still very fortunate not to leave that red away over the yellow pocket, and yeah, he was going to be on the black, which would have still put him in nice contention to try and make it down to the finish line, but doesn't seem like it's something that is going to happen for now. So I probably would say Murphy needed to get one snooker out of the way, but ultimately it'll probably come down to him to try and make it down to the brown and the pink. So if he gets himself through to, I don't know, how many points does he need now? He needs to score 51. Well, that's the problem. He needs all three of those reds to be taken with a black, which doesn't make his life any easier, unless he wants to go for more than a snooker to be scored. For now, Higgins just trying to get one of those reds to be cannoned into the pink and the brown, and he's managed to disrupt them slightly, but has he left a long shot now for Sean Murphy? I mean, I have to say that short selection was a little bit weird from Higgins to start with, certainly to finish with as well, because, I mean, it wasn't a long shot to say the least that he was trying to disrupt the pink and the brown to an extent that he was going to make the snooker placement impossible, but, I mean, if Murphy takes this red away, he puts himself right back in this one, barring the snooker. Of course, it's still a big if, but let's see. He's taking the red away. Now, is he going to be on the black? He will be on the black. Well, Higgins might have joined the Murphy club. Ooh, I mean, is he overplayed for this one, though? He needs to be straight on the black or somewhat near it. He still needs to try and take this one as a chance to take both of those reds away. And, yeah, it seemed like the body language suggests that he's looking to try and play for that red at the top edge of the table, which suggests that he hasn't got away to try and play for the red on the lower side of it. So it's a problem for Murphy, and he's going to have to try and sort it out now. And he's trying to use the pocket very wisely to him, and he's out to, well, that's about as much as he could have achieved there. It seemed like, once again, he's putting all of his eggs in one basket. So trying to go for this red into the left corner. 46 points behind, remember, 43 remaining. What he's trying to do here, he's trying to pot those two reds. So this is why he was reluctant to try and just concede and go for a single, you know, red and a black combination. Now he's trying to take this red away along the cushion, which is not easy. And if he misses it, it's frame over. And he has missed it. Yeah, that's not going to drop. That's going to be frame over. That's going to be over and done with. And Murphy is going to be very disappointed with what he's done again. Tight pocket, GG's frame. Yeah, it wasn't tight pocket. It was a bad mistake. That if that red dropped in, that would have been a joke for the pocket. So he had no right to drop in. And at the end, you know, it will be Higgins to try and take this one away there. So after all that, he will be very much down to a struggle for the magician and a great relief for someone like John Higgins here, because he still finds himself in a position to be leading somehow, and he finds himself very much to be on the cards of trying to take this one away from Sean Murphy as well. Frame lost when he lost his head temporarily. Well, that was the case. But at the end stage, we'll have to wait and see on how many of those points he's going to be able to score. Surely there's not going to be a way to come back to the table here from John Higgins here, as he's now looking to try and get that cue to be in behind the pink and the brown. So let's see if Murphy's going to try and think that he will be down to it worth it to come back to the table. That won't be the case. So he stays in his seat and he'll be down to John Higgins to take this one and now lead Sean Murphy by 14 frames to 13. Great drama, and once again, what is this going to come down to at the end stage? Because what can Higgins try and achieve out of it? For now, it seemed like he will be very much down to a decent opportunity to try and make it to the finish line. Let me just once again, 10 seconds give me, and I'll try and refresh the stream. Be back with you again. And yeah, as I say, I mean, it was down to, no, Letitia, a little bit too early, Letitia. I was just down to try and refresh the stream. In 3 frames down, you know, the first 2 were very quick by Sean Murphy, but now it'll come down to 1 more before we reach the intermission. And what is he going to be? He will be coming down to a great chance for John Higgins to try and extend his gap back down to 2 frames. Is he going to be able to do that or not? 2 brilliant frames followed by a crazy one. Yeah, but this is what we want to see in snooker, and this is what we don't really mind to be seeing in snooker either, because you don't want it to be all down to break building skills, and for now, it probably will come down to a great opportunity to try and make it over the finish line here, because for now, he gets himself in a position to try and lead by a single frame there, true, but at the same time, you know, still be very much down to a great chance for it here. And once again, still looking to try and make it down to it. Nope, the stream is not going to refresh yet, which is brilliant. Fantastic, and I can't see what's going on. The break-off shot, oh, I know it's a break-off shot, but what can Higgins do out of it? I'll have to wait and see for now. He's got a great stat there of losing out on his break-off shot there straight away. So let's see if that's going to be very much down to be the reality. And now it wants to try and prove my identity here. And, sorry. Boom. Yeah, done. I don't know why. On the World Championship semi-finals, quarter-finals, before the Crucible, that was never the case where he's just asking you to do stuff. Maybe it's down to so many people watching, but I don't know, by the way, you know, when you're watching the stream, are you the same? Where he just asks you to try and check everything for 5 times? You know, meanwhile, anyway, we get back down to a chance for John Higgins now to take a long red into the left corner. John, go. And yeah, for now, thank you very much, Kevin, by the way, for the support. And he will be back down to John Higgins to try and take this one away. Looking to try and make it down to the top part of the table here as well, because for now, Higgins finds himself to be in the position, but he's going to have to try and look at that, you know, the right-hand side of those reds. But now it doesn't seem like he's going to be too concerned about taking a long shot here, and just making sure he will be very much coming down to a great situation there for John Higgins. Once again, it's a great chance here, and I don't know what happened. If you were listening to me, by the way, I've just had a message that it was down to reconnection for the stream, so it should be all back to normal now. As we now trying to take the brown away into the green pocket. Opening red by the Magician. Yeah, listen, he cued that one really well, and once again, he comes back down to just trying to be the man chasing down John Higgins, and is he going to have a chance here to be lined up for the black? And, well, it seems like it's not really going to be the case here, and he's still positioning himself to try and take this one away. I mean, Murphy's going to have a very brief look to see on what's going to be happening around the table. Seems like he's not really trying to do that. Glass spot, brilliant pot there, but once again, it only seems like it will cost him 5 points here in relation to Higgins. And Murphy's going to be the one looking to try and study the situation with those reds and the way they're going to be located here. So, I mean, can he try and make it towards the pink here? Because that doesn't seem like it's the case. But can he try and make this one down? You know, taking that cue ball away into the pink, and he hasn't managed to get a decent position here. But is he going to have to try and take this one away as well? I mean, it'd be very, very interesting to see on what's going to happen now. So, yeah, I mean, it's not an easy thing, but at the same time, he will come down to an opportunity here for Murphy to try and take it down on the pink into the left part of the table. There is going to be a potential space for that cue ball to be played around the table, but it seems like it's going to be very much down to the blue to be taken into the left middle. And can he try and get that cue ball to avoid the yellow? He just about has done that, and in the end, he's going to be perfectly lined up for the shot to be taking the red into the right corner. That blue was pretty much just about as good as the previous shot that he's played, and now he will be coming down to a decent chance here again to try and take it down to red into the right corner. As that red stays out. Wow, is that going to be the start of the end for Shaun Murphy? Because after having to play some brilliant long reds and long shots, now Higgins usually thrives on opportunities like this, and he will be very much down to a great chance for John Higgins as well to try and come back to the table, taking that red away and making sure that he will be very much the man to try and get it down to the red. Recovered well, but another missed red. Yeah, I mean, exactly. I mean, what was that? How did he miss this red? I mean, the camera was sort of in behind of it. Just caught too much of the front jaw. A little bit too straight that he tried to cue that one, maybe to try and take away. And yeah, well, listen, it's not really the way that you want to try and play a shot like that, because for now, it'll certainly come down to Higgins to have a decent opportunity to try and take the red away into the green pocket, whether he's going to be able to do that or not. And of course, try and get himself further down into the position as well. You know, it seemed like he's going to have to try and play this one real power. He's played that shot here, and he's going to be lined up for the brown here to be taken into the green pocket as well. So it doesn't seem too bad. But ultimately, has he got the chance to try and take this position all the way once again? It seems like he's finding himself to be in a little bit of a problem here. And yeah, just trying to find the rhythm here with the first couple of shots. It'd be difficult to try and achieve that. But once again, just having a very important thing about the brown to be taken into the green pocket. Of course, it's going to be down to the backspin, trying to take that white away and down the lower side of the table. Has he played this shot too well? Well, I'll tell you what, he doesn't really have the black to be available into the left corner. Every mid-range miss is so unforgiving. Yeah, the problem is, of course, you've got to be very much trying to make sure you concentrate on a pot too well, and you don't really think about the way of you missing that red or a colour potentially, so that you're going to give a chance to your opponent, because you feel like, well, it's never going to happen for me. And yeah, of course, that's exactly what happened to John Higgins right now, as he gets himself through with a chance of punishing Murphy for that previous mistake. And now looking to try and take the red away into the right corner. He played this shot well enough, he has, and he's still going to be able to keep himself in the black now. So just try and take it down to a shot to be taken, and very much down to. So once again, just having a look on the shot to be taken here into the right corner. So then 5 points. He's going to be finding himself behind of Shaun Murphy. What can he try and achieve of the black to be taken into the right corner? Play that shot with a little bit of power again to make sure he's going to have a chance to try and stay on those reds to be taken into the left corner. At the same time, he's going to find himself to be in a position of a little bit of a struggle here, trying to take the red away into the left corner. At the same time, he will be very much down to a chance to take this red away without, sacrificing the position of the next colour here. I mean, is he going to be very much down to a topspin shot here to be played from Higgins? It's a decent shot that he's played, because, of course, it was very important for him to try and be on the left-hand side of the black now to be taken on. Now, has he managed to take that black away into the right corner here? He seems to have done that pretty well. So just a shot on the black itself now having to be taken, and he'll be very much down to a decent opportunity here to be taken by John Higgins as well. So can he try and make this one in? Once again, very nervous time now for John Higgins. Even he will be the one very much feeling the pressure and making sure that he will come down to a whole load of a distance for him to try and make it all the way to the while. So still looking to try and take that black away. I mean, it's taken so much time on the shot. Clearly tells you how much it'll mean to him. And look at the position of the reds. He's taking the black away, and he's still going to be lined up for the reds onto the left corner. Now, John Higgins genuinely finds himself to be in a position of a 21-pointer lead, but more importantly, he now positions himself to be with a great chance of trying to take it away from Shaun Murphy and put himself 2 frames away Flom Glory, I should say, and ultimately 2 frames away from his opponent as well. Is that going to be down to the next couple of shots here to be played from John Higgins? Rolls that red away carefully well. And he will be very much down to a shot to be taken on the black again. John gets this frame with a favour. Yes, sure. Absolutely. 15-13. It will be very difficult for Murphy to try and recover, especially with what we've seen in the previous couple of frames. You know, where Higgins seems like he's very much clinical when it comes to those opportunities. This is going to be another one of them. For now, he's lining himself up for a red to be taken now into the left corner and make sure he's got a great chance of trying to take it all the way down. And just put himself in with an opportunity to be taking the red away into the left corner and make sure he's got a chance to try and make this thing right as well. I mean, having a look at the red to be taken into the corner, it's probably going to come down to the black to be taken into the right part of the table as well. So just trying to play backwards and forwards there for these chances, but at the same time, just having a look in relation to those reds that he's got ahead of himself. Trying to go for the one next to the black afterwards. But of course, he will need to be very much making sure that he's not going to be straight on this one. And he has pretty much done that now. So then 30 points of a break. Looking to try and get on the black into the right corner to be taken. So can he try and take it with plenty of backsmen to be put in behind the cue ball here again. Try and get himself through to a shot to be taken on the red into the corner. He's managed to block off that shot pretty well. Let's see if he's tried to take the black spot away, or has he just played for the red with a natural angle to be taken anyway. So it just seems like it will come down to very much either one of those things to be the case, as the referee just having a very careful respot there with the black to have a look, to make sure that he will actually go onto the right part of the table. So yeah, he will be very much back to normal. So what can he do? Very nervous moments, plenty of time taken in between those type of shots, but it does seem like it will still be worth it in the end if Higgins is able just to get a couple of more of those reds in and make sure he will be very much down to a chance on the black to be taken here as well. Now, current break of 38 points exactly. Now making it down to 27 points of a lead. Having a look at the black now to be taken into the left corner. A rush of adrenaline will cost Murphy dearly, but I would still say it's down to Higgins to try and punish him. If he punishes him now, it will come down to the rush of adrenaline that you can blame that for. But for now, I would still say it's a decent opportunity for Murphy to try and come back to the table potentially. And for now, it will probably come down to a decent opportunity there to be taken. As once again, just has a look to see what's going to happen out there. Well, can he try and make this one into the corner pocket? It seemed like he's left himself with a little bit too much of a distance in between those type of reds to play. But has he managed to do that well enough? Well, to me, he has. Now he's still going to be able to try and drop that cue ball to be lined up for the black now with the next couple of shots. But ultimately, can he try and take this red away? He can. Now, how's the position of the black going to look? It's not going to look too well. It's not going to look too well on the pink either. So it does seem like the shot of the break is going to have to be the one where he makes things happen here on the black. Once again, has a look towards the pink. I feel like the plan for him would have been trying to take that pink away, you know, so that it's not going to be respotted. He's going to have to go down onto the green spot there and try and take that red on the right-hand side of that pink. So, of course, it's a risky shot for you to be taking on, especially whilst playing for the red. Now, having a look at the score sheet, 35 points is the lead here for John Higgins. What can he try and achieve here? How many of those points? It doesn't really matter how many of those points. 75 at the table. You know, he's looking to try and make him just over the halfway there. He's taking the black. How's the cue ball? It's not looking too good, but it's not looking too bad. I mean, if he's able to get through to a red into the left middle, it's going to be pretty much perfect for him. But in relation to, of course, having the red to be taken into the left corner, it's going to be a little bit more difficult than he would have liked that one to be. So, just try and carefully take this red away into the left middle and make sure he gets himself in a chance of taking that one full power. He's played that shot well, but has he played that one well enough? Well, the answer is not really, because he manages to get that cue ball to be perfectly onto the side cushion. So, what do you do here then? Do you play a safety shot? I wouldn't be surprised if he does that now. You know, 33 points of a lead. It's not really going to make a difference if you take it with a black there, but you risk, you know, misplacing that cue ball and leaving a red away. So what do you do here if you're John Higgins? 43 points, as I say, is the lead. If it's going to be 43 or 50, I mean, he needs one more red than colour at least. Match time, 9 hours of pure playing time. Mad stat that is, but of course, 27 frames. 27 frames for 9 hours, that's, what is it, 3 frames for an hour? It's not bad. It's average frame time is 20 minutes. It's not too bad at all. Especially, of course, that's not even considering this one. If you make it down to 28 in 9 hours time, it's certainly going to be even quicker than that. But, well, Higgins is going to now try and show us whether he will be quick or he'll be very much slow of an ending here. And he will be very much in favour of Shaun Murphy, that the whole thing will end. So then the black, for a good chance, he's played that with power. And, well, now we're going to have to wait and see if he's just played that for the black, or does he have a genuine attempt to try and go for the red now, to try and extend his break even further. So 40 points is the lead, 50 points as I say, 50 points is the lead, 67 is still very much on the table here with 5 reds. What does he do? I mean, is he going to go? Surely he's not going to try and cut this red into the corner now. I mean, that's not the shot that you take in the 28th round. I mean, it's brilliant if he makes it, but what are the chances that you'll be able to make this one in? And of course, I mean, what are the chances that he leaves that red to be pretty much over the pocket? Well, it's difficult. Is he going to be able to make this one in as well? And the answer is he can. Now, where's the cue ball going to finish? Is going to finish perfectly on the green? Yes, he will. Brilliant shot there under pressure. And I tell you what, Higgins knew that he was going to be playing that shot absolutely all in. If he leaves that red over the corner pocket, there's no cover for the cue ball, and he always knew that he was going to come down to a shot well played like that, which will take him now to the finale of this particular break. Only one more colour and one more red needed, and then it'll be John Higgins' story to be written, because for now, this man seemed like he's going to be very difficult to stop later on in the match. 28 frames down. Could it be now that he takes himself 55 points clear and makes it down to 51 at the table? Regroup Murphy chat with Sir Abdelneet. Yeah, exactly. Make it down to 2002 against Stephen Hendry. 2002 against the semi-final that he's played. You know, one of the longest matches that we've seen as well. Ultimately, is he going to be one of them where Higgins is just going to be a little bit too strong here? Murphy hasn't got the answer when it comes down to just that previous frame. The yellow that he's taken into its own pocket. Why on earth would you be doing that? It doesn't really matter now. You're going to have to look back on that later on, because for now, we find ourselves to be in a position of John Higgins looking to try and take the blue away into the left middle and make sure he'll certainly come down. Well, he can take the pink away. He can do pretty much whatever he wants right now, as long as he pots the colour. You know, it's going to be down to the 4th highest break for him. And let's see if he's going to try and make it down to a century break to be made, because we've seen a break of 100, 102, 105, 127, 132, and now it will be at 101, potentially looking to be broken out there as well. And yeah, well, it is going to be disappointing for Shaun Murphy, because once again, he's managed to find himself back, find his way back towards that 13-all, but just like it was the story of the entire match, to fulfill my forecast, Murphy will need to win the next 4 frames. Don't think he can do it. Will need divine help or miracle, yes, or he will need to be very much back down to reality, and John Higgins to be the one marching on towards another final at the Crucible. I mean, I certainly lost count. Can anyone tell me how many finals he managed to play in? He's won 4, obviously. He's had one against Williams. He's had one against, what's his name? Let's have a look what the replay is going to show here for Murphy. What's he going to try and do here? I mean, that's such a weird replay they've shown, because that was actually a brilliant shot there by Shaun anyway. Don't know what that's all about. Anyway, it's, I mean, he's lost one against Trump, he's lost one against Williams, but those are the most recent ones. I can't believe that those are the only 2 finals that he would have lost. Surely there was one that he lost to Selby, I'm pretty sure, in one of the seasons as well. Am I wrong? Or is that just it? Just 6 finals that he's played and looking to try and make it very much 7 heaven for himself. And it's still on the break of 80 points right now, looking to try and take the red away into the left middle. Make sure he gets that cue ball to be running towards the black now, to try and take that one away into the pink and red combination. Once again, needs to play the shot with plenty of power behind it, but just now looking to try and make it down to a showdown century here to be made. He's managed to cannon that red into the open play. but he's going to have to try and play that red in towards the green pocket here. So a possible 123. He's still going to try and get that cue ball to be running for the black now. So it's down to red. Well, is he going to fluke that one into the corner? He will be close, but he won't be close enough in the end. He will be down to a break of 88 points, which wins it there for John Higgins. And he makes it down to 15 frames, plays 13 in favour of the Wizard of Wishaw. Now we're going to have a very quick intermission of 15 minutes time, and then I'll be back with you until the end. And we won't leave here until we see another one of those 2 other matches, 2 other frames. Or is he going to be one of them to finally make it down to the final for the first time in 7 years for John Higgins, for the first time in 5 years for Shaun Murphy as well. 8 finals, always one away. Thank you, Kevin. 15 minutes time, stay tuned in. Is he going to be 2 more frames for Higgins to try and get over the finish line? Or is Murphy going to do his magic again and try and get it down to 15 frames each? Stay tuned in, 15 minutes of a break, and then back to the action on the one table setup here at Sheffield.
like a Hellcat. Running like a Hellcat. Like a Hellcat. Running like a hell. Like a Hellcat.
When you want to get off the darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down. Earth from a bird's eye view. You should grow feathers and see this too. When you want to get off the darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down. When you want to get off the darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down. When you want to get off the darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down. Earth from a bird's eye view. You should grow feathers and see this too. When you want to get off the darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down. When you want to get off the darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down. Clear sky. open eye, feel the waves cut through me, hypnotized by the sounds I'm breathing in. Hold tight, chemicals collide. Hold tight, hold tight, hold tight. Dripping lights paint the skies, all because of you. Dripping lights paint the skies, only you can make me move. You can make me move. Can make me move. You can make me move. Can make me.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. The intermission is now over, and let's see as we approach the final showdown literally out there, because we've got John Higgins, number 15 right now in terms of the frames that he has on the board, and Sean Murphy very much trying to make sure that he'll stay on those 15 for a while, because now Murphy's going to be the one trying to exploit his break-off shot again, and let's see if he will be. Very much down to Higgins to blink first and give him a chance to try and come back into this match a little bit more. We've seen that beforehand, where the first session was starting out with Murphy to be the one trying to play catch-up, managed to win the opening 2 frames, but then lost the remaining 2 as well, and so the parity remains, with John Higgins having that 2 frame of a cushion that he's had very much till the end of the third and the second session, to be fair as well, as he always seems to have a minor edge on towards the relationship that is happening currently with John Higgins and Sean Murphy as well. So whether that will be something down to him to try and achieve, or, you know, we'll have to be trying to be very patient here for now. We'll have to wait and see, as it's a decent safety shot once again by Sean Murphy after he's able to exploit that break-off shot nicely. And now once again looking at Higgins, what can he try and achieve here? Looking at those raids from the left corner. I mean, it does seem like he's going to have a cross double on there, but when I say on, it literally means like the raids could go anywhere. The double kiss is not guaranteed to be avoided as well. So for now, Higgins is a stronger person, yet when it comes to energy and stamina, won't say nothing about the Scottish guy. Listen, I tell you, he's the one you would absolutely fancy to try and do something really positive in that. Maybe not in the blue ball shootout, because it does require a little bit of technique, which I feel like it's going to be a little bit different. But when it comes to the shots IQ, when it comes to just trying to play the right shot, he will be very much down to it. As you can see, the stat man was very much waiting to try and show that stat again. Attempts conceded from the break-off, 4 from 15. Well, I tell you what, it may show you that Murphy's looking nicely in his break-off, but I mean, where is it going wrong for him? Well, I'll tell you what, that's a cheap giveaway, that, from Higgins. And he's going to be Murphy that comes back to the table with a nice chance to try and do it all over again. I mean, that was a weird shot from Higgins, because he was happy to concede that red to be taken into the corner. And now Murphy's going to be the one trying to play catch-up once again. Looking to try and recover on what has been, so far, a bit of a questionable, remaining 2 frames. I would say the first 2 have been brilliant. 2 centuries, you can't get any better than that. But you feel like as soon as he got slightly further away from him in that 3rd frame, that probably was the point where, Higgins was going to be probably a little bit wasteful if he wasn't going to use that chance away. And, well, this is what happened now. What happens in the past is in the past, and now you have to try and move forward. Whether Murphy's going to be able to do that, we'll have to wait and see for now. He plays that cue ball to be lined up for the black, taken into the right corner. And, of course, the step number 1 for Sean Murphy is to try and make sure he's going to have enough of a point of a lead here to get himself through the opening stage of this frame, and just make sure that he will be getting himself through to a decent chance of trying to go for plenty of those points to be scored. For now, looking to try and take the black away into the right corner. Make sure he's still going to have a chance to try and play that cue ball towards the sort of, not going to say well, basically, yeah, in between the black and the pink spot there, where he wanted that cue ball to be. So it seemed like he's opened up a little bit too much of a gap, but still should be able to take the next red without any further complications. Just tries to play around the black here, which once again wants to be very precise in his positional play, and so far it seems like he hasn't been able to do that. Very little tweaks, but seemed like once again he's going to be a little bit straight. No, he's fine, to be fair. That was more me looking from a different angle. Once again, very important that he missed the contact with that red and allowed himself to place that cue ball nicely on the left-hand side. And yeah, just trying to go for the red into the right corner, making sure that cue ball is going to keep on running towards the left side. Play that well again. One thing about Murphy is that he wants to desperately avoid any sort of unnecessary touches that he's going to have on those reds or the blacks or anything like that. Just make it as straightforward as he can for himself. And once again, a great shot there, making it simple and yet very effective. Trying to get 2 more reds to be available, whether the one that is going to be on the left-hand side of the pink is going to be possible into the right corner or not, but it's still a red which has certainly improved in relation to what its position was previously. So now it certainly comes down to, once again, a nice opportunity here for the red to be taken now by Shaun Murphy to try and get himself through to 31 points of a lead. But remember, the good old story, he never seems to stop on 20 points, but he does seem to stop on plenty of 30s, 40s or 50s of a break, and that's not really good enough when you play against someone like Higgins. Once again, trying to go from strength to strength on the rest shot. Play that around the black, make sure he didn't want to touch it. He played very narrow though. As long as he didn't touch it, he should have been fine, but because of how narrow the angle was, he does leave himself with a little bit too much of the angle now on the black. But of course, you know, it depends on... It's not really a negative thing, because if he takes the black away, it helps him to try and get on the next red. But now playing the shot with topspin, he needs to try and make it down to the reds to be taken. And has he managed to be on the reds? He's going to be on one into the right middle. Although he still needs to try and make his way towards the black once again. I mean, from here, if he takes the position on the black to be re-established back to normal, he should be very much cruising towards the finish line now. Going to be a Higgins-Allen final. Hopefully not in my era, but we'll have to wait and see. I don't mind the winner of this match. I just want this one to go very much 16-all. And then, you know, whoever wins. But I would say I would be a little bit disappointed with the setup that we could have had. And then we're going to have Mark Cullen against anyone else. I mean, it's probably nothing against Mark Cullen, but you know what I mean. I a lot more prefer to be seeing 4 sessions of you know, Weezer to try and play against either Shaun Murphy or John Higgins, but that's purely down to the attacking display that I prefer to be watching. And apparently, plenty of people on social media yesterday were genuinely praising that frame of Mark Cullen and saying that he's done nothing wrong, which I suppose is fine, saying he's done nothing wrong now. That's not really my point, but the fact that they genuinely were saying this is what snooker is all about. I mean, I was reading through it and I was trying to see if there was genuinely a troll point, but there didn't seem to be. So anyway, moving on that swiftly. Murphy has managed to play another good sequence of some very nice shots there for himself. Now gets himself through to 54 points of a lead. He's a very negative player. Yeah, but I don't really understand why you would predict him to be in the final then. Surely if it's 11 frames each, you have to gauge it towards the player that you want to see. And if you say he's a negative player, then once again, you feel like you're answering your own question. Are you going to be a fan of that? Not really my cup of tea, to be honest with you. But anyway, once again, let's focus on this semi-final. We're down to, you know, the remaining 7 frames here. Is that correct? No, 5 frames, I should say. Apologies for that. Math's gone out of the chat. This one included, of course, because 15-14 or 16-13 to be very much on the line there. As Murphy trying to see if someone is going to unsettle him in the audience. Great split points of view about yesterday's never-ending frame. Yeah, but once again, I feel like I suppose you have to probably respect both sides of it, but at the same time, I was really satisfied with Steve Davis and Karen Wilson, probably in the studio of BBC or TNT. I can't remember which one because there was 2 different ones, and they were saying that basically the PSA and the WPBSA need to make sure that it doesn't happen again. With all the respect, and I've got plenty of that for the players, for the fans, but I mean, tell me if someone was new to the snooker. Yes, that's my number 1 point. If someone was new to the snooker yesterday, they came to that afternoon session and they had to watch that for 100 minutes. Do you reckon they're coming back? Serious question, by the way. because I know for a fact that if I was watching that, I'd never be anywhere near it. I understand the occasion, I understand everything, but that's not really what you pay the tickets, and this is not really the way to spend your time, because the W Snooker to actually have done the things that you can do in 100 minutes, and it was pretty much run the London Marathon in that time, and at the same time you could try get yourself to watch a football match, which yet it could be just about as boring. But at least you're not going to have the Reds to be covered up by the black there, and then just one table schedule. But great show. I suppose it's down to multiple factors there. But once again, we'll have to wait and see on what the official stances that are going to be. For now, we've got a frame ball to be taken here. A very quick, a very efficient, a very Sean Murphy-like. And, it seems like whenever he wins a frame, no, it was a bad thing for snooker. Referee got it big wrong. One happened again. Thank you, Kevin. And once again, I hate to be like, no, this is not right. I want you to be exactly the same as me. But this is exactly what I thought. I mean, genuinely, there was nothing that you could see happening. And the whole formula of the referee saying, well, I'm waiting for the black to drop. Why are you waiting for the black to drop? It's a foul. You can't have a shot to be done on purpose. So it has to be an accidental thing. And surely when you've got two players trying to make sure that they won't do an accidental thing like that, because Alan, we've seen that, his disappointment at the end, because as much as he was trying to hold on to those 30 points, doing a re-rack probably would have been better for him. I'll be honest with you. Yes, you lose 30 points and, I suppose from a mental point of view, that's going to be a massive kick for you. But at the same time, talk about kicks, by the way, what do you think about Ronnie's chalk and Robertson's comments about Ronnie using that old chalk and creating, bad thing for the environment on the snooker table? But for me, the fact that he needs someone to come to the arena and tell him, well, you have to give him 3 shots each. I mean, he's the man that should be in charge. I'm sorry, but we are having referees to be there for a reason. We're not getting them to just call the score there because a robot could do that. In fact, I'm pretty sure the robot could do better there. So the whole point of having a referee out there is they're going to be very much trying to justify the relationship between the players, trying to calm them down when they have to, trying to make sure they're going to be able to, very much nerf the crowd when needed. But the crowd were trying to entertain themselves. When we had the backwards and forwards running there, they were doing the snooker shootout way and boo when we were seeing no development there in 30 minutes. I mean, because they have to entertain themselves. And anyway, back down to a potential century hunt. It's been an absolute rain of centuries, by the way, from Sean Murphy. Only seen one of those from Higgins. I'll tell you what, all of them are going to make it. The chalk will ban next year. No kickers away. Yeah, I was just about to finish off on that chalk. Listen, I'm a Ronnie fan. Die hard. Brilliant century. Once again from Murphy, by the way. How does this man do it every single time there? And he's still, that's great sportsmanship there from Murphy. Even though he's going to be 15-14 behind, he still does the same thing where he not acknowledge the crowds and the support they've given him, and even though he won't be taking a red into the left corner, it's still a break, 105 points again. Murphy not going anywhere, exactly. He's here to stay, and I tell you what, he's here to stay to give us a decider, to watch another Karen Wilson against Anthony McGill, to watch another Mark Selby against Ronnie O'Sullivan, or to watch at least another Luca Brissell against Si Jiahui, where he was 32 out of potential 33 frames. I remind some very dark rules even players forgot. Yeah, exactly. But ultimately, I would say the chalk from Ronnie. I mean, listen, I'm a diehard Ronnie fan, but that's a joke. I mean, he's the only one that uses it for a reason. And the technology must move forward. If you've got an official sponsor, I mean, can you genuinely imagine, I'm just going to give you an alternative. Can you imagine the ball? Yes, you could say that Cristiano Ronaldo is going to turn up to his own football, to the pitch. And he's going to say, well, the Premier League has got its own contract, its own rules, but you know what? It doesn't matter. I'm going to turn up with my own ball. Federer, Nadal, Djokovic, when it comes to clay, hard court or grass, they're going to turn up with their own balls. So they're going to very much suit them when they try to strike it so that it goes a little bit further down on the serve especially. I mean, that's a joke. You should have very much strict rules where you must follow the procedure and the regulations have to be in place for everyone. I understand, when it was very much a trial thing. Yes, absolutely. When you don't know anything about the chalk and you have to make sure that the players have to be happy with it. But there should be a thing about PSA to do it. I feel like the reason why they don't do it is that, it's Ronnie and they don't really want to speak out against him. And Murphy versus Weezer final can be exciting as much as Higgins versus Mark Cullen final can be a hell of a masterclass of a perfect snooker. Yeah, but it's going to be very different snooker though. I mean, I understand what you mean. One thing we can say about this World Championship is that the audience in the Crucible had their money well invested, so many decided, so great matches. Yes, and hopefully this year's audience will be here as well. And for the decider, because now it's a break-off shot from Higgins. Ooh, you feel like you know what's coming. There's a red available to the right corner to be taken on. Sean Murphy's going to be absolutely all over this one. Yes, by the way, I've just seen the tennis in the WTA Madrid. Kostyuk is winning. Brilliant. That will get me on my toes here. By the way, tournament centuries, 10 for Murphy, 9 for Allen. I mean, that's brilliant from them two. I mean, Mark Allen is certainly not the player that would be associated with those century breaks, but he's been having some brilliant breaks there to be played. By the way, Murphy's gone for that raid, but it seems like this one is going to be one too many for him to take, and he will come down to John Higgins here to return to the table and very much analyse the position from his point of view. What can he try and achieve from here? Is he going to try and send those reds towards the left corner? Can he get through to a red into the left corner as well? Wow, that is going to be, once again, such a massive blunder from Murphy. Well, Higgins shouldn't let him off with this one. It's a clear-cut path to the red to be taken now into the left part of the table. This is going to be such a blunder from Murphy if the red makes his way towards the corner, and he will. He will a little bit, but in the end, the result is the only thing that matters. And John Higgins, well, if he's going to play like he's done beforehand, he'll be an absolute threat to try and make it down to a really nice opportunity for himself to try and take it only one step, one final frame from the ultimate glory and make it down to his own final showdown, whether it'll be down to someone like Mark Cullen, Weezer. He's played one of them beforehand. I'm pretty sure he would have played Mark Cullen earlier this season as well. Maybe in the Northern Islands, but he lost to him. Maybe in the Wuhan Open, I'm pretty sure he played against Jaganda. No, I can't remember. He may have actually lost to Gary Wilson, Anyway, it doesn't matter. Whether it will be Mark Cullen or very much Weezer to try and face, or it's a bad shot from Higgins. I'm not sure if it's going to be put down as a bad shot though, getting a little bit unlucky. I want to see that one on the replay. Here it comes. So the yellow is taken. Nah, it's probably just unlucky there. I mean, he didn't get a firm contact into those reds, so probably not really unlucky, but he should have got a little bit lower on the table. Now, is he taking this red away? Is he trying to play for a double? He's trying to take a double on. Is he going to be close? No, he won't be. He won't be close at all. But now he's managed to cover up majority of those reds here as well. Well, has Murphy got a really, really accurate cut on him into the left middle to be taken? Yes, Crown's been the best ever as not Crucible next year. I thought he was going to be the year after that. I'm pretty sure he will be in 2028 when we move him away from the Crucible, but you know better, Kevin. The last person I want to argue with the stats about snooker is probably going to be him. So, yeah, I mean, if he tries to go for the red here into the left middle, the thing about this one, can he hold that cue ball to be staying for the black here? Because if he can, sweet, happy days. Can he miss the front jaw? Miss the front jaw just a little bit too much there. And always pacey the way you need to play that shot. Otherwise, you're going to have no control of the cue ball. It was a brilliant effort there. It was a really valiant effort from Sean Murphy. But in the end, the only thing that matters is, of course, why is Higgins the one with 3 points? I mean, that's a joke. What am I looking there? Murphy's the one with 3 points. And, it's very much back down to John Higgins right now. Anyway, so, yeah. Pretty sure it was in 28, but I mean, is it going to be enough for them 1 year of trying to renovate Crucible? Where are we getting, by the way? Have they announced it? I'm pretty sure they haven't, because I would have been very much all over that. But surely they have to take it to somewhere like Alexandra Palace. It's going to be very much in London, which is the capital of, potentially the UK, you could say. Very much capital of England as well. Trying to make it down to a huge crowd, huge numbers, huge space. Plenty of top 16 players are going to be very familiar with that area as well. Some of them will feel like it's going to be a different atmosphere, different feel to it. Yes, there's going to be less noise because of the whole arena being bigger. Therefore, it's not going to be such, very much congested and tied up. Well, Murphy's clearly going for it. But has he played the shot well enough? Well, what happened there, Sean? Where's the action on the cue ball? What have you done here to yourself? I'll tell you what he's done. He's left the chance now for Higgins. Whether it's going to be an easy one, I'm just trying to quickly have a look through the reds that he's got available. He's got one into the right middle, one into the left. Neither is easy, but neither should have been left to him. I feel like he's not really going to be able to get through to a red into the yellow pocket, but the red cutter ball into the left middle, surely that's the way to go for that shot, because 15, well, I suppose it's a shot that you go for with 15-13. It's not really the one that you want to be heading for when it's 15-14 frames. I just hear that players want the World Championship stake in England. We know where the tournament will arrive. Alexandra Pat, this is what I mean, yeah. So it's down to, I've got no idea. I'm pretty sure if they announce it, I would have had an idea, but I feel like they do, as I say, that's the reason for it. I feel like they do have a little bit of extra time, because they are selling tickets, by the way, for the next World Championship, and I'm pretty sure those are going to be at the Crucible. So it might be, one of the 100 things about snooker that Kevin did actually get wrong, but as I say, I'm not actually going to be arguing with him on that. But Murphy, it seemed like he's actually managed to get himself into a bit of a few zone, because he's going to be a sigh of relief. But what on earth has Higgins done here himself? I mean, the previous shot was a bit of a joke from Murphy. From Murphy, but this is a lot worse from Higgins. I mean, he's left it on the plate now for Sean. Where's the cue action going there? Just absolutely no side spin to try and put it anywhere next to the black there. So you're right. Yeah, but 2028 for the Crucible. I mean, you have to stay in 2026 there, John. What's happened there? I mean, I guess he wants to see the 33 frame showdown as much as we do, but surely he wants to try and end this one as soon as possible and try and very much end it like it was 2 seasons ago of David Gilbert and Stuart Bingham to be losing out to Karen Wilson and Jack Jones. Now, this red is going to be finding the target, and Murphy has got a brilliant chance on his hands to try and make it down to 3 frames showdown. Well, this red, it was a good shot there, but that should have been anywhere near a chance to have given away over to Sean Murphy. So for now, it still seems like it'll be very much a decent opportunity there to present it to Sean Murphy, as he's now looking around the table to see on what's going to be happening around him as well, just to realise the situation that he finds himself with. Having to go for a rest shot now on the paint, making sure that he'll be able to roll that one away into the right corner pocket, and just position himself nicely for the shot to be taken into the right corner as well. Playing that shot well. Bad mistake. Yeah, horrible mistake there. But maybe Higgins is going to be a fan of the game after all, which I'm only joking about. It's a very serious matter, of course, and we're probably going to be getting beyond the point of a joke, where you just have to make sure those type of mistakes are not really going to be here. They're going to be very much in the qualifiers. Now it's over to you, Sean Murphy. Can you try and steady the ship first? He needs to play some really good snooker now, and he's managed to play a good shot there. That wasn't easy. That was anything but easy. He had to try and get that cue ball to be very much on a string for him, and now position himself to be taking the black into the corner. Higgins doesn't want to win playing shot like that. Yeah, but that's, once again, this is what I mean. You have to take it down to serious stuff, and just because he makes a mistake, probably way too early to be saying that he doesn't want to win, and a ridiculous statement like that to be made. But yeah, I mean, the problem for Sean there, as much as it sounds a little bit weird in this position, he's got so many reds to be around the blue. One too many, actually, you could argue, because this is the point I was going to make. The brown and blue are very key colours here because of so many reds being at the top of the table. But what can he do to try and get those ones to be available? And it seems like the answer is just going to have to try and play for the reds on the left-hand side and the lower side of the table first. Spread the reds and have a good cue ball without will put pressure on your opponent. Yeah, I agree with that, but ultimately, it's very much down to a one-chance shootout, I would say, which puts extra pressure on you, because this is the position where you'll never be safe for you, but you just have to make sure you are the one that is first in with a chance. So if you make it work for you, happy days. If you don't, you may as well pack your bag now, because it's going to be a very, very difficult of a challenge to try and win 3 frames on a bounce against John Higgins, even though he's done well to try and get the previous frame. Once again, at this stage, Higgins is still, right now in this frame, he's still in a position where for every 2 frames that Murphy wins, he can pretty much lose one of them. Well, that was a bit of a nervy shot there, because with the way that Murphy has been staying on those shots for a little bit longer, you never quite know if it's a reaction to the shot that he missed, and now he's going to have a ping to be taken into the right corner. And Letitia, as you say, the chat with Peter Emden, or was that Kevin that was saying that? Sorry, apologies, I can't remember. The memory's gone absolutely blank. And yeah, it'll be very much down to a decent chance to be taking... why is he on 3 points again? Have I messed that one up? Why is Higgins having 3 points here? Have I missed something, or is that his mistake on the system? It was Murphy that potted the yellow, wasn't it? With the red at the first frame. This, I mean, let me have a look on the official scoreboard as well. I can't tell you, honestly, but anyway, yes, Kostyuk wins the first set. Come on, Marta. You can do it. Nope, 3 on Eurosport. Okay, fair play. I mean, as I say, but do you remember? Can anyone remember? Because it was a break-off shot by whatever he was. Anyway, probably going a little bit into the nowhere zone. But what I'm saying is, you know, Murphy could argue that, yeah, I don't remember Higgins to be potting anything here. Oh yeah, I do. Sorry, I do. Apologies. That's completely on me. I should give him 3 points for that. Yeah, apologies. That's completely on me. I forgot that when Murphy played that shot, when I called a blunder. Yeah, how could I mistake that for Higgins? Yeah, he played that shot into the corner, missed that long red. Then I said, here we go again. He's unable to get 2 frames on the bounce. And then Higgins had that red to be taken, played that all the way to the yellow, and they just couldn't get on the next red because he played it into the paint. Yeah, for whatever reason, I was picturing Murphy to be doing that. Anyway, forget about it. It's just me. It's just me. And yeah, it's very much now spot on here. So 35 points of a gap in favour of Shaun Murphy still. But ultimately, he's the one that finds himself to be under a slight bit of pressure here, trying to make that red to go into the left middle. Make sure he's going to have a chance to be playing that cue ball to be lined up for the green to be taken into its own pocket. And now getting through to 15 frames each. Exciting times ahead there. If you can try and hold yourself together every single one of those frames, at the end of it, it'll probably feel like 3 of those for you to try and win, because the pressure is going to kick on very, very soon for either one of the players. But for now, Murphy seems like he's got brilliant shots to be kicking into him. And he's just played a really important shot again for him. Great chance here, brilliant chance for Murphy. And he's just played a better shot there to try and make the chance even better for him. Just needs to be making sure he's going to be a friends with his pocket, which he's managed to miss a red into previously during this session already. Now then, 40 points of a lead, about to clear up all their loose reds at the lower end of the table. Probably want to leave that red on the left side cushion. You know, it's the one that probably is going to be in the zone where you can miss it. And if you leave it down to 4 reds to be taken, so he's now 46 points clear. Yeah, all he needs is 2 more reds to be taken. He's got one which he's lined up for, and then take it with the black, try and make it to the reds into the yellow pocket. And well, once again, he's got something else on his mind clearly. Whether he's trying to play this one straight, well, I don't really know why he was trying to play for the pink here, because, you know, he might have to just leave that cue ball with a mid-range shot there to be played, which is not really something that you want for a frame ball, or basically a frame ball, which, you know, it's not quite a shot that will get him over the finish line barring snookers, but the next colour will. The next colour of this red will put him in a position where he'll certainly be down to it. And you can see they corrected the points as well. So 75 points is wrong. And now it is going to be very much back down to 67 at the table. Ahead by 53. And now the red is going to disappear. It's another great shot there by Shaun Murphy. Great chance here from Kevin. As he said a couple of minutes ago, now has turned into a frame-winning opportunity. As Stephen Henry will say in the commentary. As now all Murphy needs to do is to try and eliminate any sort of chance of Higgins to try and make it down to, well, a bit of a 2-frame lead now. 16-14, massive frame coming up. GG's frame here. Ebden chat worked. Yes, it was certainly you there, Kevin. Apologies. You know, I've got 2 brilliant moderators in the chat, and I do, with my bad memory, confuse the 2 of them as well. Once again, nicely played taken there with the shot on the green, making sure that he's played that with a little bit of backspin. Strange score for Shaun. Yeah, I felt like they changed that a little bit as well, but anyway, it doesn't really matter. It's now down to 59 points that he's going to be at the table. And, well, somehow, apologies, I don't know how's he on 67 points? How's he on 57 points of a lead? How's he not over the finish line here? Why does he need this red to be taken now? I'm confused. I mean, he better take it now, and he has. Well, that's brilliant from Shaun Murphy, but what happened with the scoreboard? I mean, it's the same with me for them, so I assume it's going to be down to, you know, probably me doing the maths wrong. But anyway, it doesn't matter. It's now going to be 30 frames in, 15 plays 15. Murphy and Higgins take about each of you because you have managed to give us a great show of snooker to have been provided with, and can he now finish it with another century break? He wasn't quite able to do it last time, but still he's got numerous centuries of 102, 105 twice, 127, 132, and Higgins is going to be very lonely on that break of 101 points to his name. But look at that shot from Higgins, and I mean, that is unacceptable. And when you leave a position like that to a magician, you know, it's going to be just one fling of the wand. And look at that for the red, by the way. I mean, he's certainly trying to make that centuries record work. I mean, how many centuries has Stephen Hendry managed to produce in a first to 17 match, by the way? I know he's got a record of 7 of them in a first to 10. But Murphy will be going for that, you know. He's gone for the green. Is he going to be on the red, though? He's probably trying to play for the yellow. So, unfortunately, that's... you know, another century is going to be down to him, and trying to achieve that in the... I mean, imagine if he ends up with a century to make it into the final. That will be... I mean, forget about that Fang Jingyi in the first frame. Peter Ebdon style, trying to go for a double, and certainly not Peter Ebdon style, but you know what I mean. I was going to say Steve Maguire style. Don't know why Peter Ebdon came out of me. Trying to go for that double on the red and keep that break going. In the end, 30 frames in, 15 for Murphy, 15 for Higgins. It is all going to come down to a 3-frame showdown. And look at the guy. We found him. The guy in the yellow colour. As soon as they switch to the one-table format, he's now going to be in the Walk of Legends. What a guy. What a legend. He's been pretty much attending every single session of the Crucible. And yeah, fair play to him. Not on, but game on. Yeah. Kevin, I mean, he's going to beat your record, by the way, in the Crucible. That guy... it's hard to describe him. He's just, you know, the guy that never smiles, that was always sitting next to Ronnie or whoever it was on the first stable setup, right next to them, closer to the players than Paul Scholes was. And now I just seen him there at the Walk of Legends. I mean, the guy is clearly a die-hard fan of snooker, and we love to see that as well. I know, there you go. It must be him. It must be you, Kevin. It must be you under disguise there. Brilliant stuff. And, yeah, anyway, back to seriousness. It's difficult to keep serious because of how enjoyable and how entertaining this match has been. But if you are going to be back to the serious mode, 3-frame showdown, it could still be only 2 more for them to try and win. No yellow here. I mean, exactly. Not here. Not for now. And let's have a look. How many centuries? I mean, my math seems like it's going to be out of the equation because I'm just trying to see on how many, what's it called? How many centuries have we seen from Sean Murphy? Because my thing for Howard's break there for Sean doesn't seem like it's going to be. So he's got 100 points. He's got 105. Oh, it's only 5 there. It's only 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I say it's only 5. It's still 5 massive centuries, but yeah, I thought it was a little bit more than that. The point difference is amazing. Yeah, I've just seen that. This is the good thing. This is why I wanted that feature to be very much here at the Crucible, because it tells you the story that this match has been going on. And now you clearly can tell that it's 458 points more. But does it matter? No, it doesn't. But what it does tell you is that every single one of those times where Murphy was getting closer and closer, this is what I head back to, you know, when he had those breaks of 50 and 40 points, but he wasn't able to get over the finish line. This is what he comes down to, you know, not having that ability to finish off the job there. This is why the points difference is going to be so great in between the 2 players. But ultimately, as I say, it will be very much down to a great chance to try and take this one away here, because we've got John Higgins to be very much back sat in his seat, and is he going to be feeling comfortable? Because, well, probably anything but, to be fair to it. But at the same time, you probably have to try and put this down to a chance. Oh, double fault. Come on, Marta. I'm just trying to flick on tennis as well at Madrid Open. Come on. I want to see her win. You know, she's managed to win the WTA 250. She's managed to win the tournament in Texas now. It's the first WTA 1000 final, and especially as such a horrible opponent, it will be such a pleasure for her to beat it. But coming back to the snooker, Sean Murphy's back to the arena. Now it comes down to the real war about to be brought into the arena as well. They'll come back right in time, or where I think Sean won 2 frames after the interval. He has, but you know what's been happening every single time? Murphy gets himself back in back level. Look at those points. Look at those frames. Higgins leads by 2 frames at 13-11 when we start. Murphy finds his way to be back level 13 each. Higgins builds a lead of 15-13. Murphy manages to come back to 15 frames each. The script could not have been more transparent. But what is it going to be? Who's going to break the script first? And, oh, is it going to be a fluke? It will be a fluke. It will be a fluke here for Higgins. Where's that Cubo going to finish? Is he going to be on the green? Somehow he fluked the red into the corner. Well, that's not going to please Peter Ebdon. That's not going to please Sean Murphy. And he won't please Murphy fans either. He won't really please me, because I hate to be seeing flukes to be, very much at such an important stage of the game. 2 quick frames and it's all square. 2 more quickies and he'll be laughing at my bookie. Well, I'll tell you what, you did say 17-15, but now that fluke is going to be against you as well. Can he take this green away, or is karma going to be slightly against him now? Murphy's going to be the first one that knows. Even Higgins will know as soon as Murphy does. And the green is going to be in to the left middle. Now, where's the cue ball? He's lost it a little bit. He's lost it massively. He's lost it a mile away from its usual position. So he's had 3 reds to play for, whether all of them gone into the left corner or not. Now he's going to have to try and go for the red to be taken into the left corner here. So it still doesn't seem like it will be that easy for Higgins to be taking a red like that. But is he going to have to go for it? Well, tell you what, he's gone for a shot like that beforehand, even today in this session. So far, he didn't miss any of them. Spot success for Higgins, by the way, may be brilliant, because it seemed like to me he hasn't really missed any of those shots there. So once again, having a look at that red, having a look at that, a bit of a blind cut when he can't see the pocket, he can't see the gap opening up for him. So he just needs to try and do it very much according to the point of the shot to be taken into the left corner. Now, playing the shot with topspin, and as he missed it, he has missed it. Well, he will come down to Sean Murphy to be back to the table, and it's a mistake from John Higgins. Well, we're seeing pressure, and we're seeing that fluke that didn't really help Higgins. I tell you what, it's advantage Murphy. It is really going to be down to the wire here. Higgins made this decision of trying to play for a red like that. It didn't work for him. Murphy's going to be storming back to the table, because for once he never gets a chance in the even frames. In the odd frames when Higgins is leading, he never gets a chance, or it's a draw. Honestly, he's going to do really well if he scores a point, and he's done that. I mean, I was joking about how badly he scores during those frames, and what has he done here? I mean, how on earth did he misjudge the contact so that the cube was going into the reds? Surely I had to try and play that a little bit better to be on the blue. I mean, he's still on the blue, but it's just bad shots in pressure cooker. Well, it does seem like it's a little bit allergic, but as I say, now it's a 140-point showdown in between those 2 frames. Is he going to be a good shot on the blue? Pressure. Is he going to be a fluke? Well, he was close. It's not going to be a fluke right now. Well, this is what I think. Higgins is always going to be my favourite when it comes down to those very scrappy shots there. And for now, Murphy is going to have his taste of that medicine as well. Now the blue is going to wobble in the green pocket, then he's going to wobble in the yellow pocket and stay at the table. But, very important, the blue is out of position. And how do you make such a difficult position without the blue and the pink? The black is out of position as well after that familiar break-off shot by Murphy. So, it won't really be too easy here for Higgins to try and take this one away. You'll still fancy him because he rarely throws chances away into the air. But whether he's going to be able to take it or not, I have to wait and see. For now, I still feel like a couple of nervy times there coming up for John Higgins. And let's see if he's going to be able to try and take the yellow away in towards the pocket. Can he try and make it down the table here and force that cue ball to be travelling very much with him? Got the cue ball. And is he going to be on the red? He needs that cue ball to slow down or speed up. And in the end, it seemed like he's just about going to be fine there for the red to be taken into the corner. Come on, same scenario than yesterday. Well, for now, it seems like it's going to be a little bit different in relation to what's going to happen here. But in relation to what we're seeing in front of our eyes, then it still seemed like you would back John Higgins to try and take this one away from Sean Murphy, especially with how well he's been queuing. Before that, quick fire 2 frames from Sean Murphy's point of view. For now, once again, looking to try and play for the black. Yes, staying on the black as well. Very important to try and get yourself. This is where those 30 points from Murphy are actually not going to be too bad. But this is where I would genuinely fancy Higgins a little bit more. Just a touch more. I don't want to jinx him, by the way. That's not the purpose. He's not playing running anymore. That probably was the last match that I wanted him to jinx. I still expected him to lose to Robber, by the way. But just because he finds himself here 30 frames later. And he's missed the black. Wow. Now the black is going to be joining at the top part of the table as well. It's all happening here. And I tell you what, it'll certainly be a very interesting showdown to see. Both players are making mistakes and no build. Well, that was not a mistake I expected to be seeing from John Higgins. But what can Murphy do here? Well, he's got a decent opportunity to try and go for the red here. But what can he do with the black? Well, whoever's at the table technically has got the advantage because of, no point of a lead is going to be there. So you feel like now, surely this is going to be slightly uncomfortable that he gets to, but I'll have to wait and see on how this one develops. Because for now, for Murphy, he's just going to be happy with trying to steady the ship as well. And make sure he will very much come down to a good shot, a good position on the black there. And try and take this one away from John Higgins as well. So as I say, Murphy's the one at the table, so he's going to have a little bit more control. So let's see what he's going to try and achieve here. And playing that shot towards the black. Well, has he got enough of the angle? He needs that cue ball to be finishing on the left part of the table, whatever he does now. Unless, of course, he wants to try and go for that special of Juck Trump, trying to send the cue ball straight into the reds from the right side cushion. Whether he's going to be able to do that or not, I have to wait and see. But for now, it seems like he's going to be heading for the green to try and take it, which means that he's going to... Oh, no, he's gone for the black. Is he going to have enough power, though? It's going to slow down. It's going to slow down. It's going to slow down in time for that red not to be visible. And Murphy, well, he will be down to a frame shootout here. 9 plays 8. And we already had so many of those reds to be eliminated. What a close game. How many reds have we had eliminated already? I mean, it seemed like it's 10. Oh, there's a plant. You don't want to be leaving that one away to John Higgins. There's a plan. I'm not sure if the pink is going to be getting in the way. It won't be. And of course, Murphy has got no chance to try and get this plant in now. But, I mean, realistically, don't really have a chance of trying to play into that plant anyway. Because of how close it is going to be to the pink. So, probably have to go for another short selection to be taken. Either could win at this point, sure. But at the same stage, it probably comes down to Murphy being the one with slightly more of a favourite name to his name. Whether he's going to have that status until the end point of a frame or not, we'll have to wait and see. For now, just having to look and watch, as the chance comes back and forwards for him. Is he going to be able to take this one away there? It's difficult to tell that. It's really difficult to say that, because right now it comes down to a decent opportunity to be taken from Sean Murphy's point of view that wasn't really able to utilise with that green. Well, now, of course, he got the black to be back on his spot there as well. Murphy really wanted to face Weezy in the final and won against 4 Chinese players in a row. Yeah, this is what I mean. To get here, of course, he's managed to defeat Xiao Gudong, Zhao Dington and Fang Jingyi. Is he going to be heading for the reds? Now to be taken into the corner. That's going to be anything but comfortable. But he's made that shot in. And what a shot that could prove to be from Sean Murphy. That was brilliant. That was brave. And that was very much clinical at the end. And, well, Murphy, that was poor Sean the Black. That's a joke that overcoming that is because he's just managed to play one of the shots of the tournament under pressure. So still, where's he going to have that cue ball to be positioned in relation to those reds and the black? Can he try and take it with power? He can. But what is he going to be able to achieve with the remaining couple of reds available? These corner pockets playing havoc for both players. For now, there's certainly going to be slightly more of the advantage for Sean Murphy, as he was able to squeeze that red into the left corner. And now, once again, still finds himself very much to be the favourite to try and take this frame away from John Higgins. But what can he do out of a couple of more shots that he's looking to try and play? Now, doesn't want to be straight in the black. Doesn't want to be straight in the black at all. Has he got anything to play for here? Well, he comes back to that plant, which we looked at previously. But that was pretty much to the left corner. So what's he going to try and do here? Well, he's played for something. Well, has he played for a shot into the green pocket or has he played for a shot into plant? Neither is going to be easy, but of course both of them get a chance to Sean Murphy. This loose red that he wanted nowhere near. Doesn't matter. You still managed to take the red on the side cushion. And of course saving another red for yourself. Now putting him to try and take that. Ooh, is that going to make it? No, he won't. He's missed the red. But he has got 17 points of a lead. Don't take that for granted now. Honestly, anything that you can get over John Higgins, you have to take right now because he finds himself with a really good opportunity. Well, I mean, to be fair, you probably could say he should have done a little bit better with the previous shot on the black because You know, he could not have done, once the damage was done and the positional shot on the black was played, he probably about as much as he could have done. As I say, I wasn't a fan of looking at that plant into the middle. And now it does seem like John Higgins is just going to be studying the position of those reds to be taken one into another. And very much play this one down to a safety shot to be played. He doesn't have a great record of those in the previous couple of frames. Can he play this one a lot better? Ooh, I mean, has he? I'm not sure. I'm not sure he's done enough there. He's left the red available for Sean Murphy at this stage. Murphy's got the chance to try and go for it. Well, does he have the bottle? See Murphy all over the place. You want to land on a shot he played. Well, I don't really understand what you mean once again, but... Well, does he go for this red now? I mean, anything but easy, anything but comfortable. But is he going to try and make this one in? And if he does go for it, then it's surely going to be frame wide open, and frame wide open for him. Well, seems to have played for a red into the left middle. Played that one brilliantly well. Is he going to be on the corner though? Wow, how unlucky can you get from Sean Murphy? A book that is going to have to be written today. How unlucky can you get on that red? He's managed to make it past the paint perfectly well. He's managed to get one of the most difficult black and one of the most difficult reds, one of the most important ones that you can dream about, and he's still going to find himself only 18 points clear. Well, ultimately, he's the one in the lead. He's the one in sort of charge of this position, but what can he do here based on the colour? I mean, literally, what can you do here? You've got reds to be spread out all four corners of the table, which means you have to play a very careful safety shot here, but I mean, honestly speaking, what can he actually achieve here with the shot to be played right now? And what is he going to be able to do out there as well? Well, whatever he is, he's going to call the brown here shortly, because is he going to try and go for the shot into the left middle? No, he's just trying to roll that cue ball to be heading towards the green. So then it is basically treated as a decent safety there to be played by Sean Murphy, but Higgins has to be absolutely on top of his game right now. And well, very important raid into the centre pocket, but doesn't seem like it's going to lead to anything here in terms of the points to be scored for Sean Murphy or, of course, John Higgins. You know, if he is to come back to the table right now, still going to fancy his chances to a decent extent. Plays that cue ball to be sent in between in behind the yellow, I should say. So managed to cover up plenty of those reds, leaving one of them to be a potential long-range shot, but probably not really the time for you to be heading for a shot like that. And you know, a cross double check there from Murphy just to make sure that he's going to know what he's doing and try and put himself in a position of looking to go for that red away into the left side, and make sure he will certainly come down to the next chance that wins in the frame. Of course, that's going to be very much in the interest of John Higgins because he's the one behind, and ultimately he's the one trying to put those reds and blacks to be all perfectly lined up ahead of him. Whether that will be the case when he comes back to the table, you never quite know. But for now, it doesn't seem like it's too bad of a setup here, as Murphy's still looking to try and take that red away. Well, is he thinking about going for a red into the left corner? Because that is going to be such a massive shot for you to take on. It's not going to be too much of a risk on it. I will say that, because he's going to have plenty of those reds to be covered up. But yeah, I mean, he's having a look. This is what I was thinking about. The fact that he's looking at the left corner shows Higgins. Murphy's still sharp. Those center shots at that angle are not easy. Well, this is shot time 70 seconds. I'm nervous and I haven't got a horse in the race. What is he going to do here, Murphy? And what can he try and achieve out of this particular shot? Is he going to be able to go for another one of those reds away? Well, we're going to have to wait and see on that one. Because for now, it's about to go to 90 seconds. 60 times like that. And it's going to be very much down to 90 seconds, I should say. You know, it's going to be very much down to another frame, like Mark Cullen against Weezer, to be played. Well, surely he's just trying to go for an excuse to go for this red into the corner. I feel like that safety that Higgins has played is not that good. So he's trying to create himself a chance to go for the red into the corner. Well, he's trying to analyse every single bit of the position. Puts plenty of pressure on himself after having so much time after the previous shot. But he feels like it's going to be worth it. 2 minutes now since this shot was taken. What is he going to try and achieve here? Or is he genuinely found himself in a position where it's impossible to escape? I mean, that cross double onto the right corner, to me, it seems like a straightforward shot. It clearly feels like there's going to be a double kiss waiting to happen. So is he going to go for this red after all? Now, Can he cue this one well? No. Well, they're just gone for a simple shot, it would seem. Hey, was that worth 2 minutes? Don't really understand that, but okay. So, I mean, there has to be a catch with that one. I mean, he was not spending 2 minutes to try and go for a shot like that. I mean, that was the most straightforward safety that you could possibly imagine anyway. He's now put the thread that he was playing for on towards the bulk line. So now it's going to be very much possible into the yellow pocket to be taken. And for now, what can he try and achieve of the red to be taken into the right middle here? Is it going to be down to a shot to be taken with plenty of batsmen before it? But, well, it's going to have to be a bit of a different story to be written as well. Because you feel like there is going to be a real chance for Higgins to try and spread those reds to be away from each other. Well, what's he trying to do here? Oh, that was close. That was very close. But where's the red going to finish? It's going to finish over the corner pocket. And that was close. But in the end, he didn't really want that one to be close. And he was playing for the black, which would have given him a nice chance to try and close off the position away. In the end, he will give a chance to Shaun Murphy to try and close the position away as well. So, after all that time that he's taken on the previous one, it seemed like it was actually worth to be leaving a chance like that to Higgins, because you could see he's played that with plenty of power to try and be on the black. It hasn't worked out for him. And now Murphy's got a brilliant chance of his own to try and go for some really good points here. Could have played this shot a little bit better though, but still should have a line for the brown to be taken now into the left middle and try and get that cue to keep on running towards the bottom half of the table now. So once again, having a very cautious look in relation to what's going to be happening here around the table, and if he's going to go for the brown or yellow to be taken on here right now. Probably in there with a chance of trying to make this one down here, but whether it will come down to it or not, we'll have to wait and see once again, as I say. For now, it seemed like the position is going to be very much straightforward there for Shaun Murphy, as he now positions himself to be for the red into the green pocket here again. So, what do you make out of this position now for Murphy? Because what can he try and achieve out of playing a shot like that? And then, of course, ultimately, which one of those colours is he going to be playing for? He's going to have plenty of time taken between those shots, by the way, so because definitely there is going to be some real pressure on this one, and he's going to try and go for a little sip of water there, just making sure he takes as much time as he can to try and give himself the best possible opportunity of trying to make sure he will be over and done with very quickly in his favour as well. So the massive frame, massive stuff, and every single one of those shots is going to be massive for him as well. Now trying to go for the red into the corner, he got that one in. How's the angle going to be looking on the brown? It doesn't seem like it's going to be too great, you know. And, well, it's going to be a little bit too close towards the left side cushion as well. I mean, I wouldn't say he's played that shot about as well as he could have. Because what's he going to have to do right now? Is he going to try and go for the yellow to be taken on here? But at the same time, is it going to come down to a bit of a different shot to be taken down the lower end of it here? Can he try and play for those reds to be taken into the right corner? Or has he played it hard enough? How's the cue ball looking? It's not looking too bad for him, to be fair. And it should still be very much down to a decent opportunity to be taken by Shaun Murphy, trying to take the red away into the right corner. Murphy trying to make Higgins wait, trying to knock his timing. Well, not really. He's just trying to make sure he's not going to be the one, you know, leaving easy chances away. Now, trying to make it very much 59 points at the table. Go for the red into the corner. Has he played this one close to the black? He has. So just make sure he's not going to be too straight on this one, so that he doesn't have to try and knock the other red out of the way. And then, of course, Shaun Murphy, he's going to be finding himself to be marching on towards a frame lead here and trying to make it very much his showdown to be taken. Brilliant shot once again by Murphy. Seemed like he's leaving no chance available for John Higgins here at all. And now he will come down to, I'm thinking about introducing a shot log of 90 seconds or writing up the game. Player spending 2 more minutes makes the game boring. Well, tell you what, that's certainly not going to make the game boring for Shaun Murphy here. He's about to make it very entertaining for himself, and still trying to get himself just a couple of more points on the board. 51 points is very much the distance in between the two players, as he now tries to go for the pink to be taken and make sure he's not going to be covered up by the pink spot. And then he will be very much coming down to just one more shot that he needs after this red on the collar. and then he will be very much the showdown that he would have been looking for and trying to make it on the pink to be taken into the left corner as well. So then 42 points of a lead. What can he try and do with his pink to take it into the left corner? Make sure he will be very much coming down to a shot to be played with plenty of power. Trying to be lined up for the red to be taken into the corner. But at this stage, there will be 2 snookers needed here for John Higgins and Sean Murphy. Well, he was 11-13 behind. He was 15-13 behind. He's about to find himself 16-15 ahead. And this will feel like an absolutely massive frame to him. And now he's only going to be 1 frame and 1 perfect break away from glory. This has been some breathtaking stuff from Sean Murphy, and he's not going to stop there. He's going to pot the black into the corner, and now he puts himself to be in a position of trying to make this one very much go the long way in his favour. And, well, he says that he looks really, really good to try and make it over the finish line. Whether he will be down to it or not, we'll have to wait and see. But Higgins has got no purpose to be coming back here, and he will be down to 1 more frame of a shootout for Sean Murphy. GG's frame and maybe match. Well, it does seem like Higgins has run out of plans, run out of backups, and run out of frames that he's been leading in as well. Because now, for the first time since that 9-8 of a lead, he will be very much down to Sean Murphy to be back in the lead of this match. And boy, does he do that at a very important point of it. And now, 16 frames for Sean Murphy, 15 frames for John Higgins. And this is going to be very much a battle for the ages, because 2 players are going to really try and make some ground up on the opposition. And, well, it will be very much interesting to see on what can they achieve here, because it will be down to a great opportunity here for either one of them to try and make it over the finish line. But now, of course, it will be advantage over to Sean Murphy, and he leaves himself with only needing 1 more frame to try and take it over the finish line and make it down to a great opportunity for him as well. Now, the 32nd frame, he's about to get started as well, and it does seem like, you know, it will be very much down to a decent opportunity to be taken for a shot into the right corner. So, yeah, it will be very much down to, you know, so many of those variables to come into play. Both of the players have gone for a bathroom break, and, Murphy has gone back to his seat, and John Higgins has gone for a bathroom break. So, Murphy seems like he's very much going to be enjoying himself out there, and why should not he be doing that? He finds himself to be in a comfortable position pretty much since the start of this match, in the most comfortable position that he has been. He's never led by more than a single frame after that 3-1 of a lead that he had. And ever wondered why Americans are not interested in snooker but crazy about pool is the boredom when met in slow play. Yeah, they do have, you know, a bit of a thing where they can't really concentrate for too much time. But anyway, that's not going to be something for us to worry about. It now leaves us with John Higgins looking to try and come back to the table. And it will be very much his own break-off shot, which is good news, I suppose, for Sean Murphy. Because, as we've seen beforehand, there's going to be plenty of chances to be left over to Sean after the break-off shot by Higgins is taken. So, what is this going to come down to? Is there going to be a shot to be played on the right-hand side? There is. He's trying to do that in between the brown and green. And how well has he played this cue ball? He's played it really well is the answer. And now positioning himself nicely for the shot to be taken into the right middle here as well. So it does seem like he'll be very much back to Sean Murphy here to try and take the red away into the left corner. Make sure he will be very much down to him to be the man looking to take that lead of a single frame. 16 leads 15, but ultimately he'll still be so close over the finish line. Is it going to be a decider where we're going to have to try and stay on our toes here for that to be the case? Because Murphy's not going to be very much seeing a decider in his weekly schedule. Trying to make it very much quite a comfortable win without it. You know, he's had 1 in the first round against Fang Jingyi, and I'm pretty sure he wouldn't want to relieve that sort of pressure again. He said it was one of his best breaks that he's ever produced here, if not the best one. And for now, he's about to be looking for 1 more break. It's all he needs, 70 points, 72 points to be precise. And then he's absolutely guaranteed to leave John Higgins to be needing snookers. So then, is he going to go for this red? It's the type of a shot that you can go for in the 32nd frame, but you can't go for in the 33rd. Well, has he played this one well enough? I'm not sure he's managed to cover. A bit of a risky shot into the right middle to be taking on. I'll be damned if Murphy wins 17-15. My earlier broadcast had deemed not possible and trailing 13-15. Yeah, as you said, 4 frames needed that he had to win, and was able to do that to 75% of a stage. Well, Higgins will feel like this is not a shot for him to go for. The red into the green pocket. What can he make out of a position like this? And surely, just down to the red to be taken onto the right side rail, and make sure he will come down to a shot to be played away and into the left side cushion. Has he played this one well enough though? Well, I'm not sure. The cue ball, he's going to be staying on the black ball cushion, but ultimately, well, there is going to be a chance for Shaun Murphy that he will feel like he's going to be certainly worthy to have a look at. Whether he's going to try and go for that red into the corner or not, we'll have to wait and see. For now, it still feels like he's found himself in a position of trying to go for, a safety shot, trying to bring that cue ball to be positioned. Very much back down to the black ball cushion here. Seems to have played that well. Has he played it well enough though? And it seems like he's done that. So then he will be down to the finale of this particular session, to be consisting of 1 or 2 more frames, as I say. For now, a red to be taken into the right middle. What can you achieve with this type of shot? Well, the answer is you can probably try and backspin the cue ball onto the black to be taken, and position yourself to be taking a shot away off the black into the right corner as well. Can he make this one into the target? Oh, I mean, he's trying to play that into the bunch of reds, which, I mean, once again, we are getting through to a bit of a stalemate at the first stage, but of course, whoever gets the chance now, you have to feel like will fancy the chance to try and win the entire frame from here as well. For now, Murphy's going to be the player, looking back on the scoreline and still, very much realising that he needs to be the one which, who's going to put John Higgins under a little bit more pressure. Make sure he's going to be the one that plays the reasonable shot first and foremost, and tries to calm himself down in relation to, a couple of those nervy shots to be getting in the way of his critical thinking time. I would prefer Murphy and Wu in the final. I think it would make a better final. Agree, Mike, but we don't really, see ourselves to be in control of that. So we'll come down to those type of opportunities which we're going to be looking for. But where they will actually come to be true, we'll have to wait and see. And also, full card is Murphy decide if it comes down to that. Yeah, but you can't see it on the fence. You have to choose either one. You can't just, sort out both of the predictions and, look at it as if, you can get either one of them right, and then you're going to be very much spot on to try and stay without getting touched out there. So what can Murphy do here? It seems like he's going to spend loads of time taking on the shot, but no wonder that cue ball is going to be very much tucked up to the black ball cushion, and therefore it's a chance for Higgins to come back to the table pretty relatively soon, and also doing that whilst having a position very much available to him as well. So then Shaun analysing the left-hand side of the table to try and take, and for now, once again, it has to go for backward step there for him. American pool tables easier to install, more tables, more profitable for businesses. Well, once again, not really understand the point. All we were saying that is American pool is very much down to attention span, and has he tried to drop that cue ball on top of a red? He's tried to play that shot like that, but he needed to make sure the red that he was playing for is not going to be available for John Higgins, and that's not quite going to be the case. Well, has he got one more great shot at him? It feels like there is going to be acknowledgement from John Higgins, though, which usually doesn't come before you're about to take a risky red away into the middle. Well, he's got a bit of a tricky face on, as if to say, do I go for it now, and do I try and make it very much all the way? For now, it doesn't seem like that's going to be the right shot for you to play. So still looking like, 76% of a safety success over for Higgins, 72 for Murphy. What is this going to come down to? Or is it going to be just down to a chance to be taking the red away into the middle? I mean, he's having a look at those reds to be cannoned from the right-hand side table as well. Getting to last chance, yes, sure, but this is why it's taken so much time there on average shot time. 24 seconds, by the way, on average for Shaun Murphy. 30 seconds for John Higgins, but I feel like I want to see the table time as well, because I feel like Shaun was getting a lot more of the table time. We've got 5 more points, which it should be, on Shaun Murphy, which is a little bit weird. Then we've got 1 less on John Higgins, but I'm pretty sure it's not bad. Trying to do that manually from 31 frames. Now, after all that, he's coming back down, he's coming back up there. Higgins hasn't got his mind made up here to try and go for the red into the right middle. What can he do out of this one? Is he going to be able to get that cue ball to be positioned down the table here again? Or is he going to have to go for a different type of a shot? He's tried to play a long red into the corner, and, well, the kiss that he got on the red might have saved him there as well, because he's now going to have that cue ball to be placed perfectly onto the black ball cushion, and at the same time, of course, he's going to have a chance to try and take those reds away from each other. And once again, yeah, he missed that one by a bit of a distance there, Higgins, so he'll probably come down to a shot like that to be taken here once again. So we're just having a look to see what can actually happen from John Higgins' point of view. Can he go for either one of those reds to be taken as well? Probably not at this stage with Sean Murphy being at the table. But at the same time, it will be very nervous moments there with us approaching to be very much getting in the way of the match. Weeze and Mark Cullen as well. It's the main reason Bar's pool room's profits are not really done in America due to logistics and maintenance. Yeah, but due to the audience not really being on board with it as well. If you've got fans that are going to be supporting the sport that you do, you can bring pretty much anything to the table, and then they'll very much be great fans of that. So I don't really understand the point either of that. For now, Murphy's going to carefully take that cue ball onto the right side rail. Has he played this shot well enough? I mean, he was always going to leave a chance away to Higgins, which I'm a little bit surprised that he was happy to be doing that. Let's see if he's left the red towards the left middle now to be taken on for John. Seeming like it's not really going to be the case. And, oh, I mean, that's close. That's very, very close out there. And the fact that he's looking at the lower end of the table may suggest that he can actually see enough of this red to be taken. Well, how's your vision? Seriously speaking, because that is a very precise shot there to be taken into the left corner. And of course, if you touch the green by a minute contact, the cue ball is going to be completely out of position, and your best case is going to be down to trying to position that one for the black ball cushion. Now then, top spin needed, and he played that shot well. Let's have a look where the cue ball is going to finish. It's going to be running towards the green here, and well, surely he can't be another decider out there, because John Higgins has managed to get himself a chance. It's going to be one of those which he had to work for really, really hard, but in the end, the result is the only thing that matters, and now John Higgins has got a chance to try and take the green away in towards his own pocket, having a look to see if he's going to be touching that red or getting anywhere near it. So now once again, go for that green and try and take it. Once again, same as Sean Murphy, you know, there's no point for you to try and panic that you need to win 2 frames. Your target number 1 is going to have to be try and take this one into the decider, and then you're going to be favourite inevitably because of your experience and doing that on so many previous occasions as well. As much as Murphy has managed to make a couple of finals in 15 and 21 as well, still finds himself to be, you know, not new to the game, but not really as familiar with that experience as we're going to have ahead of John Higgins here, the 4-time world champion. So now just carefully looking to go for the reds into the green pocket. Now making sure that cue ball is going to keep on running towards the blue. Play that shot well again. And now gets himself through to 5 points of a lead here. So what can he genuinely try and produce out of this one? Because it still does seem like he's going to have to try and put himself down to a position to be played. Onto those reds to be taken into the right middle. But they will come down to a decent opportunity to be taking the blue away right now into the left middle and then still playing for the reds down the lower part of the table here, or something different. Very interesting to see. But for now, he's going to have to find himself and acknowledge that he is going to find himself as the favourite of the entire match here. In the entire frame, I should say. Of course, Murphy's going to remain as a favourite for the match until the frame number 32 is done, because he can't lose it before he getting to the distance here. So now, once again, every single time of those shots, he may as well take a minute on it, because there'll be plenty of time to try and think about it as well. Higgins is going to have to try and put every single one of his brain cells into the perfect placement for him. What can he try and achieve with the red to be taken into the right middle? Can he try and play that for the green to be taken here? Probably plenty of power needed for that to be the case. So for now, a little bit of backspin here, which probably suggests that he's trying to play for the blue or the pink. I mean, the blue, I'm not sure if he actually goes into the right middle, which will make the life a little bit more difficult there for Higgins, because the pink is not that easy. It's not a straightforward shot to be taken at all. At the same time, you know, it's fine to be saying that you need an extra couple of seconds in between those shots, but at the same time, we're very much down to a pink to be taken into the right corner, and now a chance to be taken a mistake here as well. Every single one of those shots, you know, Murphy's got past this stage of needing to win two more frames. Higgins, he's yet to have everything to lose. Well, this pink is missable from the left side cushion. Is he going to cue this one well? He will, perfectly well. And he's now going to be positioning himself nicely for the black cushion as well. So that was probably the, the first shot in a while that it could have gone wrong there for Higgins. It was a little jump for the pink and the cue ball as well. But in the end, it all ended pretty well. And now we're ready about to be taken here into the right corner. Make sure there's going to be a little bit of, cue power to be taken in behind the white here. Make sure he's got a chance to try and leave that cue ball to be positioned for the black here, to be taken into the right corner. So now just trying to go for a shot into those reds with the cue ball. Whether that's going to be a shot that he plays right now or a little bit later on, we'll have to wait and see. But clearly just have his focus to be on a couple of more shots out there. And then he'll very much come down to a couple of more of those that he needs. And then he will be very much down to the final showdown for John Higgins. By the way, talk about a final showdown. Master Costume has 3 match points. I'm certainly looking forward to seeing at least one of them to be converted. And hopefully it will be done pretty much from the first time of asking as well. It won't be, so 1 match point lost. It's a very similar performance to the one that, Sean Murphy had, as if he would have been 16 to 13 frames clear. But of course, those match points in tennis, they go a lot quicker than those frames in snooker. Just ask John Higgins, it's going to be plenty of pressure in behind every single one of those shots that he plays. So just trying to carefully go for that red into the left corner. Make sure that cue ball is going to stay for the black to be taken in towards the right corner as well. So now 26 points in the lead. Trying to still keep himself on the black to be taken into the corner. And once again, the second match point goes as well. I would have liked to see the third one go the same way. It'll be the most painful one because of how close he was. And yet so far, so still having to make sure, just like Sean Murphy, you need to make sure that you will be very much over the finish line. And Higgins, meanwhile, is going to be on 33 points clear, looking to go for a red into the right middle and try and make it very much down to a shot to be taken into the right middle pocket as well. And he will be the third match point to be converted. Brilliant there from Kostyuk. And she wins the first WTA 1000 match, 1000 final of her career. So that's going to be a very much great move to be sorted out for the next couple of days. And now let's see the result to the match in between John Higgins and Sean Murphy, as Higgins still looking to try and make it on the blue. And, well, he's going to be on the top side of it. I'm not sure that was something that he was trying to do there, because he's going to have a chance to try and pot the blue in towards the left middle. But what can he do there? Always cruel to see one player get to lose when both are playing well. Yeah, but at the same time, that's sport for you. And you have to realize that, one of them will have to lose to another one. And for now, we're just looking at a potential chance for Higgins to try and take it down on the blue here. So whether he's going to be able to do that or not, we'll have to wait and see. Now a little bit lower in the white. Is he going to try and play it into the bunch? He has tried to do that. Is he going to push a red over the corner? He will. Is he going to be on that red? He will. Well, this has been a brilliant break there so far. 39 points only for John Higgins, but ultimately, how important is that going to be for him? And it will be very much down to a showdown finale for him as well. As now he's got a line ahead of himself to try and make it very much down to the finish line to be lined up, and a really nice line for him to try and take those reds away from each other. Now he's got 39 points that he urges himself to be ahead of. And still looking to try and go for the red to be taken into the left part of the table here. So, as I say, what can he try and achieve here? Taking those red like that. Great finish. Well, for now, certainly seemed like it's going to be great finish for John Higgins, as he's looking to try and go for the red to be taken into the right corner. Make sure he got that cue ball to be played through with plenty of power behind it. And he will be down to a shot on the blue here, about to take into the left middle. So 40 points right now. He's the lead for John Higgins. So let's see if he's going to try and go for a shot of the red to be taken into the yellow pocket. He's carefully trying to play for that. Now gets himself lined up for 45 points of a lead. And once again, just a couple of more reds. And then he will very much come down to the point showdown in the 33rd frame. And the final frame, of course, Still looking to try and make that to be the reality. There's been plenty of pace injection there on this match previously. This frame is probably going to be a bit out of the ordinary in that particular regard, but it's still very much attacking. It's very much down to John Higgins having one chance, which he knows he cannot allow Shaun Murphy to step back to the table, especially since he's managed to disturb those reds and those colours so well. He's going to find himself to be in a position of just trying to make it past the finish line here to try and force that 33rd frame. And then he'll be very much down to the green to be taken into its own pocket, playing that cue ball through the shot on the green. Get that one to be rolling towards the lower end of the table. Has he played that shot well enough? Well, he's going to be close. But is he going to be on the reds into the right corner? That would have been the preferable option for him, because it would have given him another extra chance to go for that red. In the end, it seemed like he will be down to a 49 points of a lead here for the red to be taken into the left corner. So now trying to stay on the black to be taken into the right corner as well. So now 50 points of a lead, and the current break of 50 points exactly here from John Higgins. Still 75 at the table, which just tells you how, few of those reds have actually been potted with high value colours. It's been all a little bit stop-start this break, but it's about to be getting himself through to the finish line. 3 more shots after this, and then we are going to be heading the distance. He's missed that one. To me, he's missed that black. Well, it could not have been that easy, and it could not have been that simple. John Higgins, what have you done here? And what have you allowed Shaun Murphy to be a part of? Well, that was a shot, as I say, that black was going to buy him 3 more shots there at least, and he was going to put him so close towards that finish line, but he just didn't manage to get the cut to be disappearing into the corner pocket. And now Murphy finds himself to be 50 points behind, 75 remaining. What can he do with those reds? It's over to you, Shaun Murphy. You can be handing the mic, and are you going to give it back to someone else? Or is it going to be over to you, Michael and Weezer? Because the first semi-final is going to be over before he reaches the decider. Or is it going to be another twist to be seen in between those players as well? For now, a red to be taken into the left part of the table here. A little bit of backspin on the cue ball. And make sure he gets that white to be rolling towards the right side cushion here. Position himself nicely for the black to be taken into the right corner as well. 1 point here for Shaun Murphy, but ultimately it's a start that he would have been looking for. So just trying to go for the black now into the right corner, and just having to realise what he has to try and deal with here. Well, corner pocket work for Higgins. How many blacks did he miss into those corner pocket? Exactly. I mean, we've seen that to be the story of the first session from Shaun Murphy, but at the end stage, it does seem like it'll be very much a story for John Higgins to try and finish this one away, trying to play that cue ball onto the left side. And now, has he managed to be developing those reds well enough? Well, I'll tell you what, he has. And that's going to leave him with a chance, He's got nothing but simple reds. I mean, I say simple. Any one of them is going to be missable under pressure, but there's nothing extraordinary he doesn't have to do here to try and win it. 17 frames to 15. Try and go for the red into the right corner. Plenty of backspin there on the cue ball. Trying to stay himself on the, on the black into the left corner. And once again, is that going to be the most pressure that he would have felt, when trying to clear up? He had that clearance against Stevens in the final, but of course, as soon as he got those couple of points on the board, he was always going to be very much the favourite to try and win the frame because of how many bad reds there were at the, at the side cushions of the table. Now, he's the one that will be very much the underdog in relation to those points until the end point of the frame. But every single time a red and a colour disappears, I feel another twist coming. I don't. I genuinely feel like this is going to come down to Shaun Murphy to have 17 frames next to his score sheet. But now he needs to play a good shot here. Let's see where the pink is going to go. It's going to go on top of a red. So Murphy clearly done his research on that one. Indeed, never seen so many black missed. Well, I don't really feel like we've seen too many of them from Higgins, but I would probably say we've seen more from Murphy to be missed. But at the same time, when you've got 32 frames and potentially still 33 to be seen, you're always going to have a chance out there for a thing like that to happen. And in the end, there is going to be a shot to try and play through the cue ball and lines up for the left side cushion as well. So then, a shot on the pink to try and take. And ultimately a very important position on that cue ball as well. Trying to get himself through to a chance of going for those type of reds to be taken into the corner pockets. So for now, 26 points of a lead. It's over John, sorry, both players miss blacks. Yeah, but this is what I'm saying. This is where Murphy just needs to try and take his time, which, to be fair, is something that he's been doing anyway. But he's trying to take that to a little bit of extreme level now, which is not too bad at all, I suppose. So just trying to look the way of those reds to be potentially disappearing towards the yellow pocket there. You know, he needs to try and get this shot to be spot on, trying to get probably too close to that red onto the yellow pocket there, which, I mean, to be fair, you'll have to try and remove that one anyway at some stage of this frame, and he needs a big bounce on the cue ball. He doesn't want it to be too straight, and it seems like it's going to be perfect for the red. Big red is going to be an absolutely massive red there to be taken. So 30 points plays 50. It's a red that he needs to try and get plenty of action in between the cue ball and the ball colours to try and position himself to be taking a shot into the right middle. Well, what can he do here? The answer is not a lot. And the answer is going to be very much down to how much cue power does he have? How much accuracy on the red does he have? Try not to overthink it. He's got the red in, and that probably was the most important point there for him, because he still played well enough for the brown to be available into the right middle. And, well, the camera was on John Higgins previously. He might have to switch over to Sean Murphy. Although, I mean, the angle that he's got on the brown is not really going to get him closer to the red. What do you do here? You just done a circle around the table. Well, do you just try and trust in your ability to be taking the brown away? I mean, he's going to be getting that cue ball away from the red anyway. Tough position. It's a horrible position here. He's going to have to take it. But is he going to have to take it? Well, I mean, it's easy for you to say it. But how on earth are you going to be feeling when trying to execute those next 4 shots and then still trying to get yourself over the finish line? Brilliant, brilliant brown. Where's the cue ball going to be? He's trying to play around it, and he's not going to be bad at all. Then, great part once again. Big red now. He managed to get it, the brown, into the right middle. What can he do with the red to be taken into the yellow pocket as well? What can he achieve with that one as well? And how can he try and hold that cue ball to be position safe? Murphy Magic, well, this is going to be a magic showdown. Can he get this red into the yellow pocket, play that cue ball to be lined up for the yellow, into the middle pocket? Surely this is a shot to go wrong, and he has gone wrong. He's missed it. Has he reffed that red? Ooh, I mean, it seemed like he's got away with it, and he's actually managed to get a snooker. Pot crazy miss. Well, that was down to pressure being available, and Murphy was supposed to be the best 4 Chinese player in a row. That was a rest shot, and that was the last shot where he could have gone wrong for him. Then the green, the yellow, and then the brown. And then it would have been very much down to the easy part of the task. Higgins, he's going to be absolutely delighted with the factor of him still being very much in the mix here to try and make it down to miss that much ball. Well, he was. He very much was probably down to the last shot that he could have missed. And now he's going to have to try and do it all over again here as well. He's looking to try and take it down to the right corner, positioning himself to be lined up nicely to the left-hand side of it as well. And just making sure that, you know, Murphy's not going to be quite able to try and get through to those reds to be taken into the ball cushion. So then what's going to happen here? Hit like button, folks, and subscribe helps. Yeah, thank you very much, Kevin. Appreciate every single one of you to be tuning into the stream. We're going to have plenty of action with either video games, or we're going to have something to be sorted out over the summer. But, ooh, I mean, that was close. He nearly done a Barry Hawkins or himself against Joutington. We fluked the red after being snookered there, so now he comes back down to Higgins have got the great chance here. So made a good shot before that. He's human after all. Yes, true. But it doesn't really matter if you're human, if you're a robot. The only thing that matters right now is the result. And I'll tell you what, by the way, Murphy managed to put that red really safe. So Higgins is going to struggle a little bit to try and bring this one down the table. And in the end, just trying to get that one to be closer to the right middle, not too close to it at the end, hopefully for himself. Well, I mean, I was just thinking there for a potential double, but of course, you know, he's not going to be thinking about a double in the 32nd frame. And, well, what can he try and do with this red here? Because if he just tries to hit this one very narrow with a thin contact on the left-hand side, then he's surely going to be putting that red to be way too close towards the left middle. For now, just trying to get the green to be involved in between the cue ball and the red, and seemed like he's played that shot pretty well. So he's still going to have the cover on that red from the cue ball. And yeah, very much back towards John Higgins' the turn will go. So just having a look at the line that he's got available towards that red to be taking on. Yep, twist came true. Yeah, true, to be fair. He did say that. but I did genuinely think that there wasn't going to be any more after. But you feel like that Brown situation that you probably have to go back towards the shot on the pink. Was it a good enough shot there that he's played for that red? Because he played about as well as he could have on that Brown. You know, he's played about as good as he could on the reds before that as well, and just came up a little bit short on that red shot. But I suppose, well, that's an interesting shot from Higgins. Has he left this one on the plate? Has he left this one on the plate? He has left this one on the plate. What a chance this one. All of you have what chance now. Well, listen, we've got a chance to try and finish it with 1.5 minutes there. Well, Higgins, you can see he's not going to be sitting steady in his seat. And that was always down to the risk. Murphy is going to be absolutely delighted with his chance that he gets ahead of himself. Now, the red is in. So it's down to 7 more shots that you need. Is he going to be on the blue? Needs to be the lower side of it. He's not going to be the lower side of it here. But he is going to be straight enough on it to try and hold that cue ball back for the yellow. Not this one. Yeah, he should be GG's now. He should be very much down to 32 frame of a shootout. But it will turn out to be very much 4 frames of the bounce. If this comeback is going to be completed, then he must beat Murphy's one of his greatest wins ever achieved in the professional tour. And as I say, he's getting himself to be ever closer. 9 points behind. That means the pink will take him over that finish line and make him to be the first World Championship finalist of snooker in 2026. The yellow is the only colour of its spot. Can he take this one away? Yes, he can. No mistake this time around. And now a straightforward 5-colour clearance. We only need 4 of them as well. And then it'll be very much down to Shaun Murphy to put his name in the history books and make it down to the final 2 once again. Match will be one happy Murphy. Absolutely. Now then, about to go 50 points level after Higgins had that 50 points of a lead at the starting point of a frame. Who would have thought that Murphy was going to be the one to try and get this one back to 50 points each and now have 2 shots ahead of him to try and make it. Can he hold himself together? Well, anything is missable. We've seen so many match balls to be missed on the pink. Surely not this one. How does he judge the pace? He's judged it absolutely spot on now. The pink for the final and for Shaun Murphy to be the first of the 2 to try and compete for the Crucible crown. The pink goes into the corner and it will be very much a win for Shaun Murphy, and you can see great respect, no emotion, fantastic sportsmanship there from Shaun Murphy as well. And now it will be down to him to make it down to the final 2, and Shaun Murphy take a bow. This has been a recovery for the ages. In the end, John Higgins just about going to be short, but look at what it means. Fang Jingyi nearly managed to beat this man in the first round, and still anyone since that point, the world champion of Xiaoxington and everyone else apart from him, is going to be eliminated by the magician that manages to use that wand really, really well. You may as well call him the Ollivander, because now it will be down to Shaun Murphy to try and make it down to Weezer or Mark Cullen. What a great recovery that was, and brilliant from Shaun Murphy at the end, managing to get himself over the finish line. And well, it's over to you for Weezer and Mark Cullen to try and match that brilliance of a semi-final. And well, that was absolutely brilliant, especially that clearance at the end. Yes, he wasn't able to do it the first time, but still, listen, he's managed to score 500 more points than John Higgins, and he's managed to score 4 more centuries as well. Murphy can't believe himself, no emotion, thanks to him. Calling my bookie now. Many thanks for all the viewers. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. Thank you very much for all of you, and once again, feel free to be back in just over an hour's time. We will be back with Weezer and Mark Cullen. Hopefully that one will finish before the midnight. For now, we're about to get some enjoyment of snooker, about to be continued with Mark Cullen and Weezer trying to put on a great show for the fans, and hopefully that will be very much the point for us to finish on. Once again, thanks for watching. Feel free to like on the stream and subscribe to the channel. We are going to have the final be starting tomorrow, but for now, we've got one more session of semi-finals to be played, and let's see whether it will be China versus England, or it will be our old home nations final of Mark Cullen against Shaun Murphy or Weezer to be joining Shaun Murphy in the final. See you tonight, absolutely. Phil Hell win this title 20 years after his first one. Yeah, 21 years. But once again, the final story is going to be for another day. For now, it's over to you, Mark Cullen and Weezer. Try and beat that for a performance of a spectacle. I'll see you all in just over an hour at 7 p.m. evening session about to start with our Mark Cullen. It is 11 frames each, so 11 frame showdown to see on which one will join Sean Murphy. Speak to you later, and thanks for watching. Once again, stay tuned in.